well, just as long as I get there safe, like, I really don't care. Like,
but that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you.
Down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. And that's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand. And
like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had sex all the time.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. Actually, today, special host is going to be Karl, but I'll do our regular intro like usual. So, before we do our introduction of our guests, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We go live once a week, every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But we got the host, Karl.
Hey, what up, what up, what up? So, everybody in the room, I'm Karl Shaft, and tonight I'm hosting the show, and we have some guests in the house, my man B-Hop, my man Will, and my butterfly lady. You gotta have a lady on the premises. Make sure she can also speak from a woman's point of view. So everybody can introduce themselves and let her rip.
We got.
I am Lene Monroe, also known as Herbal Butterfly. Nice to be here and nice to meet everybody.
What's up, everybody? My name is Will Maybon. I am unofficial, uncertified dating coach. I go by the name of Picking and Choosing on Instagram. What's the other one? TikTok and Facebook.
Hi, everyone. My name is B-Hop, Brian Hopkins. I'm a law enforcement instructor, a life coach, and a mentor. I teach law enforcement and other things.
All right, let's switch these spots.
Very well-rounded.
Karl, start us out.
Well, there was 3 particular videos that I picked out. The 4th one I put in there for the fun of it. But each video, we're gonna play them out, and it gives y'all a chance to now respond, but not the typical response way that we would do in any other open forum. The response would be in a way where we're doing critical thinking solutions. Of course, I'm gonna crack some jokes, but also it's not about right, wrong, or attacking. It's a matter of just analyzing it and sharing with viewers, because this is also recorded and it's going to be put out there on YouTube. So this way everybody can learn from something of how to do what we all need, more critical thinking. That's how we build experience, wisdom, and even knowledge of going about things differently, seeing things from different lenses. So that's the purpose of it. So let's go with the first video.
All right, fair use, fair use.
Lost your mind. Don't touch me ever in your life. You touch me first, and then you got in my face. Don't ever invade my face. Get out of my face! No, I'm not. You fucking faggot! I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. You're touching me again. You're touching me again. You're touching me again. It's all on you. It surely is. It's surely, but you in my personal space. You're in my personal space. You're in my personal space. Stay out of my personal space. She's touching me. She's touching me. And I'm telling you, don't put, she can't put her hands on me.
Okay, stop it! Hey, hey!
No, get the fuck everybody back off from me! This bitch
No, watch out. You gonna fight the woman, bro.
You got the wrong person. Don't fight the woman, bro. You got the wrong person. Bitch, put my hands on me.
Hey, relax, relax. Relax.
I fight whoever. I fight whoever. I fight whoever. Put your hands on me. I fight whoever. Put your hands. I fight whoever. I fight whoever. Knock your bitch ass out. Knock me out. Knock your bitch ass out. Knock me out. Knock me out.
It's okay.
Knock me out. You saw what she did. You haven't lost your.
So here we are. Based upon what you've seen and heard, let's go with the ladies first.
Such a gentleman. The whole situation is out of pocket. The whole situation is out of pocket. Every angle, every person involved, even the person recording is out of pocket because nobody intervened until somebody got slapped. The whole situation is just, no, unacceptable.
Well?
Well, I'm about to have a very unpopular opinion.
Let it loose, brother.
I blame one person. I blame two people in that video. Actually, probably four. I'll have to see it again to count. Maybe I might blame six. I blame that woman first and foremost. She is where 100% of my attention goes to. I'll tell you why in 1 second. Then I blame that sucker at the end, the Captain Saver, who came to her and wanted to fight her battle for her. Now, if he would have ended up dead, there's some people in his family that would have been mourning his death because he came to the defense of an unruly. Wait, is it? I don't want to use profanity on your show.
Come on, bro. Come on.
He came to the defense of an unruly ass woman. The point is this. Listen, guys, I don't believe in don't put your hands on a woman. I don't believe in it. I believe in don't put your hands on anyone. So this whole notion that this woman can slap this man and initiate a fight. There was somebody that came between the two of them, separated them. And as the guy was moving backwards because him and the guy was kind of dealing with each other, she kept proceeding forward. And then she committed to slapping the man. Now she initiated violence. She is ready for the brawl. Move out the way and let them have at it until law enforcement arrives. I don't believe in all this Good Samaritan stuff because there's too many people becoming victims trying to intervene and stop a woman per se from getting hurt. I think I blame the woman and I blame all those men that try to come to her defense. I don't like what the man did by arguing with her, but he was just doing that, having a verbal confrontation with this woman. Was he right for that? I can't say if he was or if he wasn't. I don't know what transpired to get them to that point. I don't like what he did. I don't condone what he did, but I don't look at him as part of the problem. I look at him as he could have helped de-escalate it. He could have walked away. She could have walked away, but they didn't. And sometimes people are talking through things. Just because you're talking through things don't mean it's always going to lead to violence. So I can't hold him. I can't blame him as much as I blame all the other people.
Got you. All right, be hot.
Well,
you have to.
Let's understand. I'm gonna give you an understanding from a law enforcement perspective. The reality of it is, if he was at work, he has to measure himself in a much greater aspect, because you know that when you're at work, you have to deal with unruly people. Second of all, let's understand. Let's not blame the person who is taking the video, because a lot of times the video, in and of itself, gives you a deeper explanation of what was going on. Who it identified who may have been the aggressor and who it may be the personal defender. The thing of it is this: when it comes down to it, she was dead wrong because she escalated the situation to a physical thing. He was marginally wrong because he would not separate himself and give himself distance. She couldn't have never swung at him if he'd have gave himself distance. You're at work, so therefore you're getting paid to have better days. So the thing of it is this: in any male-female exchange, a woman has a definition and a man has a definition. One doesn't get a pass because of your gender. Aggressiveness has to do with what is the end result of what you're trying to get at. In that situation, there's a lot of things that were wrong that could have been right. All he had to do was keep his distance. Personal space is when a person aggressively goes into your space. If you're standing your ground and you make no attempt to move, then that person, although they was in your personal space, however the conversation goes at that point, you haven't really gained, the necessary aspect of saying, all right, get out of my personal space. Because you already allowed that person in your personal space to have that kind of discourse. You could move away. It doesn't make you any less of a person. But if you're at work, it makes you more professional.
So I'm gonna piggyback with y'all on what y'all said, but like I said, without attack, without a right or wrong, it's a matter of what some of us already had discussions before about knowing your boundaries, your position, and your outcome. So, is a woman supposed to defend herself? Sure. Is a man supposed to de-escalate as much as he can up until he has no choice? Yes. Now, was he de-escalating it? No. Was she, like Will just said, bringing the brawl? Yeah. And it wasn't until the guy got in between, until she made her move, which we all know in the streets is a sucker move. Okay? You don't wait till somebody get in between you and basically holding one, the stronger body, and now you take a cheap shot. No, of course not. But my argument rests more with after that. Even if he's justified, as we all taught growing up as children, if somebody hits you, you hit him back. As Will would say, the Captain Save a Whole Samaritan, yes, black men are supposed to protect their women. Any woman, doesn't matter what gender. But there, like I said before about the word boundary, you see how this is unfolding and escalating, and instead of de-escalating it, you're challenging it more by saying, no, fight a man, fight me, and now you're getting involved in a confrontation, trying to escalate a physical thing with this man. And this man, at that point, is so out of breath from all that tussling and everything else. The last thing he want to do now after catching his breath is fight a man, because that takes more work than a woman sometimes, because women can fight and women can be slinky. So not to condone any of the actions, the key that I wanted to bring about is de-escalation. Looking at things from different lenses and understanding that can be any one of us in the audience, anybody, at any given moment in time. Rather it's road rage, rather you're in Walmart, rather you're to the clean web, even at work. And in this case, this gentleman works there. So this can happen at any time, any moment. And this is why we need to look at things in a critical thinking solution way as opposed to a reactive way. Because it's easy to get emotions, get mad, but we got to look at the long term and what is a better outcome.
You know, I think it was a case of you had two egos clashing and nobody wanted to take the upper road.
Of course not, because too many eyes is showing. You know, has she worked there? Who knows? Because I've seen two police officers fight in the parking lot right after work with their guns in their holster.
Was it those two female officers?
Exactly. They fighting over a dude.
Yeah, I've seen that video. That video was intense.
So it's like our emotions can take over, but we're not remembering the boundaries. We're not remembering our position, and we damn sure not remembering how to de-escalate.
But you know,
in my 25 years of law enforcement, I've seen all the above.
But you know what though? I just saw masculine energy all around, right?
With your eyes closed, you just heard like two men fighting.
That's it. Everything I heard was, I heard a lot of people talking who felt they had enough of whatever to end things, right? Meaning that the lady felt or believed or thought she possessed.
She felt safe.
She was an aggressor. The guy became an aggressor after he got hit, right? All the people who jumped in, they're in some shape, form, an aggressor because they think they can subdue the other guy.
She wouldn't have took that swing if that guy didn't get in between.
But look, and not to cut you off, brother, the guy I think was an aggressor originally, but he got more aggressive after she put his hands on him. But he was standing his ground with her, but he was also provoking as well. Yeah. So I think they both were aggressors. It's just she took it to the next level once she put her hands on him, and that's when he was like, "All right, there's no hold bars."
So I don't think he was so in my opinion, I don't think he was being aggressive. I think he was almost like asserting himself, like, hey, listen, you don't want to take it to the next level. Yeah. You don't want to cross this line. We keep having this back and forth, but you don't want to cross this line. And that's why she got louder. I don't think she was asserting herself. I think she was just trying to warn everyone else around. That's why she got louder.
But here's the thing.
And then that's when everyone decided to come in. And that first original guy, he wasn't trying to step in between them. He was trying to stop the guy. And that's why she felt fully confident in, okay, I'm going to swing at him because he's already got his hands back.
She had her support by the time.
Yeah. I mean, she screamed, people came. So it was everyone against him.
I didn't know he was at work. So if he's at work, let's think about it like this.
He wasn't at work.
The likelihood of him picking a customer out to just start an altercation with is slim to none. So we have to understand. That's why I said there was things prior to the video started that led up to them being in that situation.
Of course.
Real quick, go ahead. Because I see, shout out to Simon and to Madre in the chat. Shout out to you guys. How you guys doing? I'm gonna let you finish saying, but do we want to rewatch the video just to, catch them up? Are you guys okay with that? Carl, actually, you're running it, so
it's up to y'all. Y'all voted in.
I'm fine.
Come on in.
All right, so let's do a quick rewatch. I think that was that earthquake.
And then you got in my face. Don't ever invade my face. Get out of my face! No, I'm not. You fucking faggot! I'm here. I'm here. You're touching me again. You're touching me again. You're touching me again. It's surely is. It's surely, but you in my personal space. You're in my personal space. Stay out of my personal space. She's touching me. She's touching me, and I'm telling you, don't put. She can't put her hands on me. Oh, wait!
Okay, stop it! Hey, hey!
Don't you ever put your hands on me! No, get everybody back off from me! This bitch
No, watch out, man. You ain't gonna fight that woman, bro. You're not gonna fight that woman.
You got the wrong person.
Don't fight that woman, bro.
You got the wrong person. This bitch just put my hand on me.
Hey, relax. Relax.
I fight whoever. I fight whoever.
Take a deep breath.
Put your hands on me. I fight whoever. Put your hands. I fight whoever. I fight whoever. Knock your bitch ass out. Knock me out. Knock me out.
It's okay.
Knock me out. You saw what she did.
It's okay.
You haven't lost your mind. Don't touch me ever in your life.
So I count 5 men that came to this woman's assault of a man who was at his job doing what he did. Because Miss Lene, I know, is it Lene or Lanai? I'm sorry.
Lene, thank you for asking.
Yeah. I understand that there may be, and not to say you're just defending women, but I understand that it's like we have this
natural bias.
We have this natural bias to somewhat identify with the thing that closely represents us. You know, like when we see black men and white cops, we naturally take the defense of the suspects, right? Because they're considered suspects at the time, or detainees, or whoever the case may be that the cop is interacting with. And it's because we have this built-in bias. But if we ever want to see our people get better, we have to develop this word. It's a word that we just for some reason don't like. The word accountability.
Whoa, what's that?
That woman. What? I am a black man. I'm 6 feet, 215 pounds. Not the biggest man in the world, by far not the smallest man in the world. If I was in that airport and it was a guy who was 6'8", 280, all muscle, and he was in my face like that, I'm going to recognize the situation and say, you know what? His size doesn't mean he can beat me. But this is not the type of interaction I want to engage with, because there's some things called gravity that's going against me right now. There's some things called physics that's going against me right now. You have to be smarter at assessing situations and realizing this is probably not the best. This is probably not the best scenario for me to put myself in to come out victorious. But see, what women do when they're dealing with men, especially in a public, crowded environment where they have a lot of people that will come to their aid, they tend to get out of character. They tend to tend to grow some bravado, because she, like I said, had 5 men that I'm sure she does not know. 5 men who do not know her that put their lives in jeopardy for a stranger who was in the wrong.
But stop right there. I have to revert back to the variables that you missed in what you just said. 1, upbringing, conditioning, past trauma. Some people even say zodiac sign. Okay, there's a lot of variables that would make a woman 5'8", 170 pounds respond to prove herself or prove that she can be just as assertive. I know this guy is bigger and stronger.
Well,
I
as
don't
the
care.
woman,
That's called
as
feminine.
the woman here, as the woman here, like I said originally, I said all parties were wrong. All parties were wrong, and I feel like she was wrong too. There was a part where she did step back, and he got further into her face. If you watch the video,
no, you're right. You're right.
And so that point right there, both people could have de-escalated the situation. That's his job. That's his bread and butter. He should have basically just took a minute, took a smoke break, went outside and calmed down. Because 1, that is spirit. 2, you're going to run into a lot of people that's going to piss you off on purpose because they're having a bad day. And I understand it's not acceptable, it's not justified, but it's a process of life, especially working in an area with high frequency and high demand of people. 2, she should have backed off, because if it's you can't have giant energy, or what they say, excuse language, big dick energy, and then walk around challenging people, and then when you get hit, you're like, oh, what was me, because he didn't put his hands on her. He got into her personal space, yes, but he did not put his hands on her. So like I said, both parties are wrong, because both parties basically took a jump when not needed. So I don't condone her behavior at all. She period, point blank, she should have just walked away. Go talk to a manager, go report this, go sign a feedback card or something. But
I agree with you 1,000% on that. And that's what goes to de-escalate.
Real quick, B-Hop, I see you in the back, but you got to turn on your devices, your mic and your camera, or just even your mic, because it's not allowing me to add you. So, all right, go ahead.
I don't agree with Lene. I mean, she's not wrong.
Oh my God!
It's easy to agree with saying all parties are responsible, or all parties point out what people could have done. That's being hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. We have the ability to sit back, critique this situation as if it's happening real time. We weren't there real time. We don't know what led up to this video. And although he should have thought about his job, if he is at work, he should think about the dynamics of, like you said, that's his bread and butter. But there's something about this behavior that I'm at work. I didn't come here to fight people. I'm a human being. I am not a robot. There's only so much you're going to be able to handle when people are violating, disrespecting you. And did he make the proper judgment? No, I agree with that. He did not make the proper judgment call. However, because of this no accountability, these things continue to happen. Because employees, if an employee talk to you rude, disrespectful, get aggressive, if you are an accountable person, you wouldn't even engage that person any longer. You will go directly to the supervisor, like you just said, manager, supervisor, director, what have you. Because we have developed into a society that people want to get loud. They want the attention. They want to show how bad they are.
Kevin Hart said that. He said anytime you're facing a fight or a confrontation, if you start acting crazy, we heard this by a lot of comedians, start acting crazy and gain attention, hopefully somebody will come in and stop the fight or whatever. And it's true. People still do that.
Yeah, and it's so what we have to do, if you flip the roles, right? If you flip it, let's say the guy was the customer and the woman was the employee. The likelihood of that going the way it went probably would not have happened.
Not at all.
I don't see a guy, maybe a guy got in a woman's space and she got mad. Like the guy said, you kept invading my space. That's what he told her. And so I'm just going to assume she started it. Not saying she did. I'm just saying I'm going to assume she started it, right? And he was justified in telling her to get out of his space. And then it escalated and it was bad. But if a man was to get into a woman, in a female employee's space like that, or space, and he was the aggressor initially, and the woman said, sir, can you please get out of my face? I think a guy will be thinking, this ain't going to end well for me. Let me back up. I'm probably going to still say what I got to say, probably still be aggressive in my tone, but he probably is going to give a little bit of space. Because
so you don't think that like you're saying that at some point there got to be some humbleness.
Well, it's got to be some accountability, right?
Before accountability, remember, accountability is what? Taking responsibility for your actions after the fact or before the fact?
Both.
So the accountability is not going to register to them in high emotion. I get what you're saying, but the accountability is not going to be registered in high emotion because they're both frustrated and they're both pissed off. So they're not going to think like, wait a minute, let me sit back.
But here's the thing. But it will, because when you are an accountable person, you don't find yourself in those type of encounters unless someone else is the aggressor. I don't think the employee. I'm going to err on the side of caution that the employee is probably the more calmer of the two. I don't think he came.
No,
to work.
you're assuming. That's what you're saying. You're assuming because he's an employee, he should take the high road. But listen again to what I just said. 2 female cops over a triangle relationship with their gun and badge, full uniform was fighting. You understand? We've seen bus drivers pull over, get in a confrontation with a customer, and they lose it because the customer spit at them. You understand? So there has to be a boundary of when, fuck this job, I'm human before I'm an employee. I'm not taking this shit.
But that's what I said. I don't think, like, if that woman was, we know she's not an accountable person. Yeah. It's questionable as to whether or not he's an accountable person. We know she's not, because you're going to more than likely get your way as a consumer, right?
Either one of them could have done that, bro. It's equal on both sides.
But here's what I'm saying. The likelihood of the employee, I'm not saying an employee can't snap out. I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm saying the likelihood that the employee is just going to snap off on you is slim. Not to say it won't happen. But
now I'm going to ask you.
I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah, why do you say
I've been
it's
in
slim?
retail. And I don't mean to cut you off, King. I'm so sorry. Like I just disagree because, like, for example, I've been in retail for 15 plus years. It's not the fact of the likely, oh, today's the day I'm going to snap. It's the fact that you are constantly, every single day, biting your tongue for not even enough of what you're getting paid for. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Both of them are wrong.
Correct.
And Lord knows what this woman is going through on the back burner too. We have to be aware of that too. This woman could have had like a horrible day, came in there in a good mood, and then he was having a bad. It could have been vice versa either way. But
exactly.
retail, period. You're gonna have a breaking point.
That's why I said before. What's up?
I just want to address what Tumade said real quick.
Oh,
OMG.
What's up, Dave?
Dave, shout out to you.
What up, y'all? What's up, Carl? Thanks for having me, bro.
Tumade in the chat said, OMG, sorry, men, but we're women, but you still need to think before acting on our behalf.
Yes. So listen.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Let me make sure I understand that.
Tumade, click the link in the chat. Come up to the show if you have time.
So before you address that, Carl, Lene made my point. I don't know if she realized she made my point, but employees in retail, and I've worked retail too, and I understand how customers can be extremely disrespectful. You said you say you're constantly biting your tongue. So that means the employees show restraint more often than not. Not to sit there and say employees show restraint 100% of the time, but I've seen countless of people berating employees and they don't snap off. You see Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever videos going viral all the time on customers taking it way too far and employees doing everything they can to maintain their composure. That's only going to last so long. So I hold the customer as more so accountable. Does that mean I absolve the employee of their wrongdoing? No, I didn't say the employee did nothing wrong. I'm just saying she was the problem because all she had to do was serve. I mean, you can see a supervisor. She clearly got in that man's space, as he said in the video.
Before I move to the next video, because like I said, I'm breaking it up. I would say that and agree with you, but the counteract to that is this. The employee has more to lose than the customer.
No.
Let's look at no. Let's look at it. When you're sitting there doing a job 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you're trying to make ends meet with that job, of course you're going to bite your lip, show more restraint because you don't want to lose your job. But that, like I said, that important word, boundary. When, any one of us, anybody else, any job, when is it when you say, fuck this job, I'm going to, you understand what I'm saying?
So check this out. So let's say his job, let's say he got fired. Okay. We know Spirit Airlines don't pay that much money to begin with. So it's not like he probably can't find another comparable paying job.
It doesn't matter if it's $5 an hour, $10 an hour, $20 an hour. Don't look at all of that. Look at just the isolation. A job that pays the bills. I get up every day, put on this uniform.
Let me tell you why. Most people in the airlines, that's not their primary job.
But
it doesn't matter. I don't care. Even if he's Jamaican with 3 jobs, it doesn't matter. He's coming to work every day.
But Carl, but we don't know he's coming to work every day.
But that negative history can follow you, especially in the airport environment.
It can, but
because
check this out.
It's a small world.
We don't know enough about that man or his financial situation to make that determination, right? We could assume, but
I mean, it's just like anything else. Nobody truly lives in a what if world. But the reality of it is there's some consistencies that you have to take into consideration. When it comes down to industries, a lot of time industries are very small in terms of the community.
I get that. But here's what I'm saying.
Him flipping out, he has to understand that could follow him in other industries.
It can, but here's the thing, guys. Here's what I'm saying. If that guy had a ring on his finger or anything, and when she went to slap him and he tackled her and he swung on her, if he would have made contact and hit her in her damn eye and that ring punctured her eye socket, I think regardless of him losing the job, going to jail, now it's the legal system, whether or not he had the right attorney that can get him off, say it's self-defense, whatever. True. But she could have some permanent damage because in the day, she's a woman fighting a man who's a lot, and I don't care how strong, she don't look too strong. She got some weight on her, but she don't look too strong. He got some weight on him. He might not be too strong, but that weight, that massiveness could have caused some damage on that woman if he would have got a good hit on her.
But since we going there, what happened? What would have happened if she swung on him and her nail would have scratched his cornea?
Right, and she would have been. But the thing about it is, that's why I said I'm not absolving him. He should have walked away from the situation. But that whole thing was on video. That woman struck him first without him hitting her. He would have he would have been able to sue her. A lot of stuff would have happened and he would have won. He wouldn't have been at fault. I don't know how, I don't know the law that well, but I know that woman would have physically assaulted him first, as we all saw. She is flat out in the wrong. And if those people wouldn't have came to her aid and he would have put that weight on him.
We're in a Me Too world, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna always advise the women that I care about and I love. Listen, stay out of confrontations with men. Correct. Stay out of confrontations, period, but definitely stay out of confrontations with men.
Well, I do a ladies self-defense class. Well, before I had my heart surgery, I was doing ladies self-defense and senior self-defense. The one thing about it is this: if you're going to have a definition for your adulthood, then you have to stick to your definition. Don't think because of your gender that you just necessarily get a pass with being aggressive, like somebody else is not going to not going to match your aggressiveness. Women always come up with this ideology. There's no instance that a man should do anything or hit a woman. That's
conditioning from what they was told and taught growing up. Okay, remember, everything starts from childhood. Depending on what type of parent you have and what background they got, you're taught and conditioned that, and it's passed the buck. But let me close this topic out with this.
I think Dave.
At the end of the day, both sides, male, female, is going to look at this video of their parent acting out in that damn thing. And they have to interpret it, and they have to carry that to see how they going to handle critical thinking if they're put in that position. So the mindset right there, her daughter, her son, his daughter, his son, they're going to see that video and be like, oh, so that's how we handle it. And this becomes a domino effect of the next generation and so on. So I want my brother C to cue up the next video.
I think Dave wanted to actually say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
sorry. Yeah.
No, I missed the video. I don't know who was the employee and who struck first. Sounds like the woman struck first and the guy was the employee of Spirit Airlines.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna add my 2 cents. I don't think a woman should be free to hit a man, but I also don't think there's an instance where a man should ever hit a woman unless it is in self-defense. You know, saying? And self-defense for me is your life is reasonably in danger or your health is reasonably in danger. If she,
No,
you know,
sir. No, sir. What it comes down to is this: if everybody has a responsibility,
hold on, let him finish.
I want to hear what he got to say.
You can't say there's no instance.
Let him finish real quick.
There's always some type of instance. You can never say
Let him finish. Let him finish.
that a woman is not capable of harming you.
I didn't say that.
B-Hop, let him finish. Let him finish.
That's not what I'm saying. First of all, let me make this clear. I don't believe in hitting women, period. I don't. I also don't believe in nobody hitting me. I don't. So I feel like this, and I've been in an instance where a woman got up in my face and swung on me, and I blocked all her things, and I caught her foot, and I held her foot. I said, yo, listen to me. I don't hit women, but I'm not going to let you go upside my head. So if you feel like you really want to go upside my head and I'm concerned about my health, I'm going to block the shit out of whatever you're doing, and you're not going to like it. And I dropped her foot. I said, now I dare you to hit me. She said, yeah, whatever, David. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. She walked off. And my point is, though, if I didn't have self-control, she threw 3 punches and a kick. If I didn't have self-control and I say, oh, she attacked me first, that's self-defense. I have a right now to go up to beat her ass. If I don't have self-control, I have a problem. And it doesn't matter that she didn't have self-control. My point that I make to men, and if I ever have a son and I raise my nephew, I used to tell my nephews, yo, listen, you don't hit a woman, period. Because the law is not on your side. I don't care if it's self-defense. The law is not on your side. Society is not on your side. You have testosterone, you have height, weight, and adrenaline and everything else. And unless that woman is reasonably like about to take your life or you're in some imminent danger, walk away, dog. To me, it's no excuse. Walk away.
No, that's just a politically correct answer. But as a law enforcement officer, in my 25 years of being in law enforcement, dealing with domestic violence situations, it's not cut and dry like that. Nowhere close to cut and dry like that.
I was on a date and I think this chick was crazy. All right, I ain't even lying. I think she's a little off, and I figured it out later. She said to me one time. She said to me one time. She said, "Would you ever kill a person?" I said, "No." She kept coming up with scenarios. What if they were threatening your kids? What if they were threatening your wife?
Is this first date? First date?
Yo, bro, it was second date, and I was done after that. Because the hypotheticals got.
You said the first date? That was the only date.
Way too graphic.
But B-Hop, I feel you, but this is what I'm trying to say. If a woman can be held accountable for her swinging on you, you can be held accountable for you swinging on her. And just because you can, by the law, defend yourself, doesn't mean you have to do it in a certain way. If somebody tries to kill me and I get the gun, I don't have to kill them. I can injure them. I can maim them. I don't have to shoot to kill. I can choose to shoot to kill, and I can use the law as justification that, oh, it's self-defense. My point to y'all is you don't have to. Every human being on this planet has the right to choose. You can walk away just like she can. You can do something less excessive. You don't have to.
Right.
I agree with you, Dave.
We know what the options are, but we gotta look at life from a situational standpoint. A lot of situations don't call for you to be politically correct. The thing of it is this: in life, when you make blanket statements, first of all, it's not a belief in whether you hit women or not. You should only believe in God. The thing of it is do you subscribe to protecting yourself? If you subscribe to protecting yourself, then you don't change the dynamic of protection because it's a female in front of you. What it is there's an understanding.
That's a choice.
Life is a choice.
Here's an interesting scenario, Dave.
Same way you have that mindset, you can reverse it and think a different way. And I'm not blaming or assigning. I'm simply saying it's a choice.
Let me clarify something for everybody so you understand.
Dave a question.
B-Hop comes from a place and lens from where we have seen women 5'4", you understand, 5'7", 21 to 51, pull out guns, knives, and really do damage to men. You understand, 6'2" and so forth. We have seen women of all ages and sizes do more damage than men can do. So the lens that he's looking at while he's taking that stand is from that type of dynamic. Whereas with Dave in a non-law enforcement or non-bouncer or non-bodyguard type lens, he's looking at it from his upbringing that we don't do it like that. That's why I can agree with both sides, because like I said, from a law enforcement, from a bouncer, from a bodyguard standpoint, all the guys that work for me, that's one of the first questions I ask before I hire you. Do you have a problem putting your hands on a woman? If they say yes, I can't hire you. Because this job is going to require you sometimes to restrain. I ain't said beat a chick up. Restrain or put your hands on a woman because you don't know if she got a 22 in her weave, a razor or knife in her mouth, or in her titty, or wherever the fuck is hitting at, and that's your life. And nobody cares. So I have to look at it from both points, and that's what I wanted to bring up. But like I said before, guys, I can't spend so much time on that subject because I got 3 videos to keep going. Don't worry about it. We're going to come back.
He being a host. He being a host. That's how you keep him on.
We're going to come back to it. We ain't going nowhere. Come on. Next one.
That's the right one?
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna love this one.
Often is probably some of the most extraordinary advice I never got. As a working mom, we get tired, exhausted, overwhelmed. But it is dangerous to neglect our husband's needs. And I'll explain to you why. Sex is such a huge part of a man's identity. It's the way he emotionally bonds with us. And it's crazy because God wired his body this way. When a man experiences an orgasm, his body releases the bonding hormone, oxytocin, in such extraordinary amounts. Women experience it as well, but men do 400% times more. And so that skin-to-skin contact mixed with an orgasm creates deep connection. And I never just want to be a great mom. I never just want to be killing it in the workplace. But I desired for my husband to find me to be a good lover. Look forward to coming home to me. And through difficult conversations, because I was never taught this kind of stuff, I had to learn how to not look at sex as a chore or another responsibility on my to-do list, but enjoy my husband feeling respected and honored and wanted. Imagine if one day our husband came home and said, I don't feel like having sex with you. We would be massively offended and hurt. And so men need sex. It's how they came from the factory. Never use sex as a weapon.
Ladies first.
My man with the videos, bruh.
Ladies first. Come on.
I mean, I agree with her. I agree. I don't think it should be used. I don't think it should be used as a tool or anything. And I think it's something that is a generational, not even generational. It's a long going kind of teaching that we have in the female mentality, basically, or even some of the men, because I've dealt with a man that's done that before. So I think it's a mentality that needs to be readjusted and just relearned, that sex should be intimacy, not just basically
a reward. Oh, their phone died.
Come on back.
There she is. You there? There we go.
Oh, do you hear me?
Yeah, you know.
And me as a working mom, it does get stressful. It does get stressful. So, but you have to have a good companion with you, though, a companion that understands that. So it's not just the female, the male has to also be understanding too. And vice versa, if it's the male to the female, they both have to be understanding. Look, you're working, you're tired. Let me do something to get you into that mood to where you don't feel like it's a chore. Let me do this. Both parties have to pull their weight to keep the intimacy alive, not just one person working or doing this, and then you're gonna come to me and say you want sex. I'm tired, bro. I need to relax. Like, you over here eating Cheetos, playing the game, and I'm over here just got off of work, and I'm tired. And then you want me to sit there and perform an hour or more for you to sit there and bust one or two? I need more. Yeah, it's got to be more. It's got to be even. It's got to be. The female has to feel wanted too.
Come on, Dave.
I appreciate it. Thank you for letting the guests go first, y'all. I'm gonna say this, man. This is why it's so important, Carl, that you got to be with a woman that you're sexually compatible with. Because look, I told somebody the other day, if I'm a runner, I'm a track star, and you're a swimmer, and I don't like running, I might get in the pool sometimes. I might swim a little bit, but I'm never gonna be an Olympic swimmer like you. Likewise, if I'm a track star, I can't expect you to get on the track and keep up with me. And I'm Usain Bolt. You're a swimmer. So the thing is this, ladies, if you don't have a high sex drive, get with a man that don't have a high sex drive. If you get after work and you don't have the energy, get with a man that also feels the same way. It's optional. I'm tired. We'll figure it out. I'm the type of man, I like 2 days with my woman. And if we're in a married situation, I would like it twice a day. And I like a woman that has the same energy. Right. I was married before. We didn't have the same energy. I got divorced. I discovered there are women out there that have the same energy. They have the same drive. There are people that when you're tired, they want to roll over and get some to knock them out and be like, ooh, now I can sleep good. Other people, when they're tired, they're like, look, you leave me, don't even touch me, leave me alone. I like a woman that's like, you know, baby, I'm hardly ever gonna say no. Like it's like I'm on my period or I'm in pain. That's why I'm saying no. But working every day, we all work every day. What if I say, you know, I don't feel like paying the bills today? Yeah, I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. I'm not in the mood to provide. I'm not in the mood to protect you when we out in public. I just don't feel like being a man because I'm tired. No, you want someone that has the energy to be with you and the energy to match your energy. And it's not because of you. They just got that energy on their own. They like sex. They like sex.
Be hot.
Well, the thing of it is that you got to get away from, you know, the understanding of how a lot of women have been raised. A lot of women have been raised to say no to sex anyway. And a lot of women, unfortunately, they have, you know, they don't really get the same amount of pleasure out of sex that men do. And the thing of it is that it's easy for somebody who doesn't get the same amount of pleasure to say, no, I'm good, or I'm tired, because that's just another excuse of not having to go through it. The end result is you unfortunately, it's a thing where you have to find, or you should be lucky enough to find somebody who has the same interests as yourself. It's very hard because women are programmed to say no.
No, feminism program them say that.
Okay. Will.
Again, I'm like the worst guest to have on anybody's show.
Come on, bro.
Very unpopular stuff. First of all, I gotta interject and say, Dave, you surprised me, bro. I did not think you was gonna say that. I was like, oh, Dave might be an apologist for women. I gotta hear him talk a little bit more before I.
Hey,
give me some time. Give me some time.
I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but about the page 3, shit, I done closed that. Fuck this book. Listen, so I like what she said in the video. I think she's bullshitting though, but I like what she said in the video. I think it's good for women to take that approach. I agree with everything Dave said. I say that all the time. I understand where B-Hop is coming from. He's not wrong either. But here's the bottom line, ladies. Be a woman. We don't have enough women in our society anymore. So much so that the men are becoming women.
Salute
right?
Black
and I was going to tie this into that last video too. We just have too many. We're blurring the line so much. Women are working so much that they can't perform feminine tasks. And if a woman is so tired because she's working, cool. Be fatigued. It makes sense. If your job is, you might only have so much stamina. No matter how much you eat right and get in the gym, you probably only have so much energy. You're probably beat at the end of the night. 7 o'clock, you just run to get ready for bed. Cool. Allow your man to have another woman. Just allow your man. Listen, your job as a wife and your job as a husband is to put yourself second. You cannot put yourself first. I have to put my woman before me, and she has to put me before her. But unfortunately, we got a society that promotes selfishness. Now, if your woman is tired, it's wrong for you to try to force her to keep having sex if you know this woman is tired. However, the compromise, which I don't believe in compromising, but people like using the word compromise. I use the word negotiate, right? So the compromise, in my terms, the negotiation would be, babe, you can go to sleep. You don't have to put out on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. But you cannot get mad when I go get what I need. I'm letting you get what you need. Allow me to get what I need. And if she can make sense of that, and if she can't, do it anyway. Shit. I'm not about to sit here and tell you to sit there and deprive yourself. Do not let someone deprive you of your basic needs, because the basic needs are non-negotiables. They must be met. A man cannot not meet a woman's needs. If that woman's needs is more than he's willing to put up with, then that's not the woman for him. If his needs are more than she could put up with, that's not the man for her. Like that's why I agree with what you gentlemen was saying. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying. But at the end of the day, this is why cheating is so prevalent in our society. It's not so much because men just can't keep it in their pants. It's for the simple fact that if the man was getting what he needed at home, not even what he wanted, not even what he wants, just what he needs, is less likely to step out.
Well, you know what? You know what the thing of it is.
Hold on, B-Up.
The pushback is about a need. Sex is not a need. Sex is a want.
Who determines?
Unless you have an addiction.
Thank you.
Who determines if sex is a need?
Not the cat.
You or the person who wants the sex?
The individual that calls themselves an adult.
Okay, watch this. So B-Hop. So there's Gary Chapman got a book called The 5 Love Languages. I'm a fan of the 5 love languages. I believe in it. I promote it. I coach women on how to recognize their love language and how to communicate it, so men don't have to guess as how to love them. Women like you to figure them out. I don't have time to figure you out. You're an adult. Tell me what you like. And if I can't do that, then this isn't going to work. For example, one of the 5 love languages is receiving gifts. Can we effectively say that no one feels love from receiving gifts?
We can't effectively say that.
We can't. And if someone says, I need you to show me attention in this way, we have to accept that that's what that person needs. Whether it makes sense to us, whether we agree, whether we understand, all of that is irrelevant. They are communicating to you. I need you to rub my feet. I need you to go to the store and buy me nice things. I need you to pick my nose. Whatever.
But Will, you said 2 words. You said I like.
I'm stuck on the word I too much.
I need. If they say I need you to pick my nose, like if B-Hop, if I told my woman, baby, I need you on a regular basis to pick my nose, and she's like, I'm not doing that. Well, that's my need. That's my need. People have.
Well, if I don't, your woman might say, well, if I don't pick your nose, will you stop breathing?
No, but I don't want you.
If you're not going to stop breathing because I don't pick your nose, then it's not a need.
But you're missing
it's
the
a
need.
Want. You want somebody, you want her to pick your nose.
Here's what you're missing. You're missing the need assessment. I'm not saying the need for survival to live. You're conflating the two, right? The need to survive is different from a need to coexist with you. I need you to do this for me to engage, staying in a relationship with you.
But now you're changing the dynamic of the word.
No. I'm
not changing. No, he's not changing the dynamic of the word. Hold on. He's not changing the dynamic of the word. He's changing the dynamic of the relationship as a whole. Because let me interject with something. First of all, it's like this. It's a selfish demand in a way, because not even in a way, totally, because you're telling a woman that this is your requirement in order for you to engage in a relationship with her. You're missing the fact, because we're thinking for the now, not the later. What happens when you develop erectile dysfunction in about 5-10 years? And now you cannot keep up.
You can't
Now-
say the person's
Oh,
needs.
whoa.
The needs just
Now,
changed then.
listen to the dynamic. Here it is. You want a woman to perform, like Will was saying, twice a day, 5 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever the case may be. And then one day you wake up and ED snap you in the face. Now what you gonna do? She is used to you doing XYZ. Now, there's a beautiful lady in here, butterfly, let them know. What is the first sign when you know a man is cheating? Well, when we first met, he was on point every morning, every evening. Then lately, he hasn't been coming too much. It's not as hard as it used to be. He's not stamina, and now what's going on? No, it's erectile dysfunction, or you got older. Your stamina, everything as you get older decreases. Now what happens?
So then you make concessions.
But now she's gonna flip the table. Hold on. She's gonna flip the table and say, check this out, bro. I want a man that could keep up twice a day, 3-4 times a day. And if your old ass, I don't care about your erectile dysfunction. If you can't keep up, now I'm gonna go out there and get me one of them young studs to keep up. It's not gonna feel right to you.
Cool. No, it will. Guess what, bro? Listen, you gotta understand something about most men. Most men will stick with a woman. Once we are with that woman for that long, you're talking about by the time erectile dysfunction is kicking in, that man ain't trying to go on the open market with erectile dysfunction and find him a new woman. If his woman got to step out and get her a little something, long as she's still cooking and doing the things that he like her to do, he gonna rock with it.
I highly disagree. I truly disagree to that. That sounds good. That sounds good, but that's not it. That's not what's going to happen. He's just going to basically. I disagree.
Dog, I'm a Scorpio. I'm too selfish and possessive.
That's fine, but that's fine. We're not talking about you, Dave.
For the record, for the record, guys, let's clarify. Erectile dysfunction is hard. Hold on. For the record, Will, everybody. Erectile dysfunction today starts in your early 30s. Let's get that straight. It's not an old man thing.
Fine. Who cares? Listen.
Okay.
By the time you have erectile dysfunction, you are not walking around boasting and commanding and doing. Miss Lene, if you and I were in a relationship and I had erectile dysfunction and you was making, before erectile dysfunction kicked in, we were having a great life, blissful life. Sex was good. Relationship
3 years, 5 years, 2 kids later, right?
Yeah, whatever task you were doing around the house that made my life a joy, I'm not going to put that in jeopardy because I can't please you in the bedroom anymore. I'm going to take a smart person would say, you know what? I can't perform anymore. If I can't perform anymore, I'm not going to lose my entire world and be alone.
But like you just said, though, what if that's her need, though? What if that's her requirement?
I let her go get it elsewhere as long as she's willing to stay in a relationship.
That's
the whole purpose. I think that's a double standard. I think that's changing.
How is it a double standard? I said
because she's basically saying in the video the woman should sit there and tend to the man's needs, right? And you just said if that's the case, and if he can't tend to your needs, you walk away. If she can't tend to your needs, you walk away.
No,
but now you're saying as long as she can cook and clean, I don't care if my dick can get hard. As long as she can go get herself some from somewhere else. But as long as she cooks and cleans over here, meaning my needs, I'm good.
Lene, I never said that. I said if this person doesn't meet a people's need, they shouldn't be in a relationship with each other. I never said a person needs to stay in spite of. I never.
It was touching the borderline of promoting polyamorous relationships.
No, it's not.
Hey, we can be in a relationship, but you can get your dick elsewhere. I mean, come on, dog.
This is the problem with communication. People hear with their hearts and not with their brains, right? Information goes in right here. It's right next to your brain. Yet somehow it travels down here and toggles and play tug of war with this thing called your heart. Then it comes out your mouth, or whatever you feel, it comes out your mouth instead of whatever.
Interpretations, background,
we can communicate, but just because I don't agree doesn't mean I'm not thinking with my brain. It's just I don't agree.
It's not about you agreeing. You said something I never said. I never said what you said I said.
Interpretation, conditioning,
So what, Carl?
upbringing,
At the end
trauma.
of the day,
There's a lot of factors.
no, it's called if you can't quote someone and use. I'm not saying she quoted me, but I'm saying you can't quote someone and then change the words that were said. You have to say the words verbatim, because the moment you change a word, you change the whole context.
Oh, not even a paraphrase? I'm good at that shit.
Well, you can't. Not with a quote. You can't paraphrase. You can say I'm paraphrasing, but you can't quote them.
Well, let me get this brother's opinion since he stepped in. What's up, bro? Hello? Knock, knock.
You talking to me or?
Yeah, bro. Come on in.
What's up, Carl, man?
You're sitting there with the headphones on like you in the studio, getting ready to cut a record. What's going on?
Some new faces I ain't seen, so it's like,
oh, don't worry.
Bishop picking, choosing, Danny, Moreau, Clement, how we do. Thank you, Carl, for having me up. Respect to the panel, chat, everyone that's watching. I sort of chimed in on the question, which was women hear, but they never listen.
Well, there's 4 different videos. We already played one and went through that subject matter. The second one had to do with the lady speaking about sex is not a chore, but to please the man in his needs, and don't use sex as a weapon. I'm paraphrasing. And like Will was saying, that his needs have to be met in order to engage in a relationship. He's not going to sit there and, if you're not meeting his needs, hey, allow me to go and get it elsewhere with another chick, but we still in a relationship. And where B-Hop and Brother Dave, who was up here a minute ago, their intake was more like, just get somebody with the same energy as you, man. I mean, if I'm a horn dog, get you a woman that's a horn dog like you.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It just sounds like relationships to me. Like,
yeah,
I'm a marriage guy, so it's, I think it's a bit different. Like,
no, it's perfect. So you are married. You've been married for X amount of time, and all of a sudden, you want some, but she's not in the mood. She don't want to give you nothing.
Yeah, I've never been in that situation, to be fair. Like my I don't even want to go into that personal situation.
No. We ain't getting personal. Basically, y'all have an agreement where there's no pressure on when, and there's no complaints on are we fulfilled. Bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, I think
equal energy.
I think from the outset, let's get this straight, okay? I just think from the outset, you need to find your match. If you go into some sort of relationship or any sort of marriage or anything like that, ensure that you are matching up with whatever you're dealing with. Because if you have like some sort of high libido that needs to be fulfilled, you need to find a woman that's going to actually do that. And you got to sort of have some real sort of understanding around, the fact that she's capable of doing this for a certain amount of time, whether you're choosing to be in a short-term relationship or a long-term relationship.
Right.
Because otherwise you're just messing around with yourself. And you're trying to tell yourself something that's an untruth. And what's going to happen is you're going to have these sort of back and forths with within 4 walls, because it's a very personal thing, having sexual encounters and sexual relationships with people.
And ego plays a big part with that too. And you're not looking at over time. Each one of y'all stamina is going to change. Each one of y'all mindset's going to change. It's going to grow. It's going to change, not grow, but it's going to change as well. Where you ain't going to be that horn dog like you was in your 30s, the first 2 years together, 5 years together. Now you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s. Nah, we ain't doing it like that.
So Carl, are you, because this is what it sounds like. It sounds to me, please correct me if I'm wrong. Sounds to me you guys are saying at hello, you need to be forecasting.
Yes.
No, it's about
I say that. I'm not Carl. I don't know. I say that.
I'm saying is the same thing what Dave and what B-Hop was saying, is that find something at your equal energy at that time and moment. but also leave open that down the line, could be 3 years in a relationship, 5 years, 10 years, married, not whatever, it will change.
Of course. Who was walking around?
And the concessions have to be made. But hold on. The balance, or shall I say the boundary that I was bringing to you, based upon what you were saying, is it's like the room to change is none, because you're saying like, yo, man, I like mine twice a day, 3 times a week.
That wasn't me. I didn't say that.
Like I said, instead of incorporating, if I'm not getting my needs filled, I'm gonna go elsewhere. And if I can't fulfill your needs, you can go elsewhere, but we still in a relationship dynamic. That is like saying, it's like an ultimatum. Either you give me what I want, the way I want it, when I want it, or I'm gonna go elsewhere.
No, this is what I said. Y'all try to follow me, because I think y'all lost me somewhere, okay? If you are not willing to give a person what it is they need, do not enter into a relationship with them. Okay? Whatever that need is, I don't care how outlandish it is. If they determine it's a need for them, if you can't meet it, don't enter into a relationship with them.
Okay, we got that part.
That you could probably do it at hello, but not sustain it, don't get into a relationship with them.
Congrats. I got that part. But later down, I'm talking about you're in the relationship. I'm talking about you're in the relationship, you're in the marriage. We're not talking about the beginning.
I know. The problem is we don't get into it the right way. And then we try to figure out, we try to pick up all these broken pieces in the middle of it. Let's start it the right way. That's first and foremost. Now, if you find somebody, like Simon said, you find someone and you two are your match, right? Good. Everything's going well. You build this family, like Carl, you mentioned. You got the 2 kids, you got the house, you blah, 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 right? You're knee deep in. You're 8, 9, 10 years in it. Something goes south as far as the man's libido. Like you say, you got erectile dysfunction. He can no longer perform. Or this woman has just been working herself like a slave because she decided to pick up a career 5 years into their relationship and go to law school. And now she's shot every night when she come home. She can't perform. There's dynamics of this relationship that has changed. That's part of life. So what I'm saying is, I'm just that committed to whoever I chose to be with that I'm going to try to find an alternative way for us to stay together. If I can't perform sexually, if my woman wants to leave me, that's up to her. I can't make her stay. But it's my responsibility to try to do what she needs, which is, hey, babe, I love you. Go do what you gotta do. Come home. Because I can't be replacing her.
So we're not. So basically, you're saying we're not even going to explore the constellations to work on, not just staying together, but to work on a critical thinking solution towards our sex life. To keep things.
Of course. Listen, that's assuming that you did all of that and you can't figure out a solution. If you can't figure out a solution, a man with erectile dysfunction, if he can't satisfy his woman, chances are he can't satisfy any women. I'm not going to trade my woman in for no woman at all because she out there having sex that I can't provide her with.
Okay, so stop right there. Here's a woman with lupus, medicated, going through it. They have a lower libido, if any at all, when it comes to that type of sexual relationship. So guess what? Woman,
you go step out then.
No. You know who's going to be her husband for the next 20 years? The guy with erectile dysfunction, because they're equally not going to be able to be focused on sex much.
No, because it's not like she's going to leave her relationship and go look for a man with erectile dysfunction. It's not like the man who has erectile dysfunction is going to leave his relationship and go look for a woman with lupus. At the end of the day,
it'd be a perfect combination.
Battling semantics here at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean that's too much of a tailored situation.
Is it?
Life doesn't tailor itself like that.
If I ever play matchmaker, you know what I'm going to do. All the erectile dysfunction on this side, all the lupus on this side. Let's go.
But what it is look, if you,
Carl,
if
you
you
ain't
actually,
right. Carl, you are not right. You are not right, yo.
Let's ask the lady on the
Shout out to all my
Miss
people with
Lene,
lupus.
Watch this,
if you've actually been in,
Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say? You called my.
I
What
wanted
you
to
say?
ask the lady on the panel a question. Miss Lene, is it what I just stated? Is that the selfish thing to do, or is that the unselfish thing to do?
Don't ask me if you don't want my opinion. I'm just saying. Don't ask.
I'm gonna tell you as a man, it's selfish.
It's selfish to allow your
I
woman.
think
Let her answer. Let her answer.
So to me, from what it sounds like, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, I'm just interpreting what you're saying. So you're basically insinuating that if she can't find her, if you can't supply the needs, then she can go out and cheat. And vice versa. So what's the point of the union? What is the point of the union?
Okay,
It should be explored it should be like Carl said, the whole point is you're a union. If you got erectile dysfunction, the girl you with should be able to, she's in it for the long run. She's going to work with you. Hell, y'all could come up with a cure and figure that shit out. And then y'all can go back to just, being intimate all day, every day.
All over again.
But
There you go.
it shouldn't be to where it's like an easy, all right, you go get yours, come back home, fix me food by 6 o'clock, and then I'll come lay with you. And vice versa. Look, you asked my opinion. You asked my opinion.
I asked your opinion, and I'm fine with your opinion. I'm just trying
you got a lady in the chat that's supporting you. Yeah, she's speaking facts.
Wait a minute, I
yes.
gotta repeat that again. You could
facts.
go get
Okay,
some,
listen. Hold on.
come back, make dinner at 6, and then I'll hold you.
Right, like it should be a relationship is a relationship. A relationship is a union, period. Y'all have came together because y'all liked each other, y'all have similarities, whatever the case may be, or y'all liked each other, period. So y'all gonna work towards making stuff greater for each other. But I'm not gonna sit there and get with somebody to be like, well, I can't satisfy you. I think the girl down the street or the person down the street could satisfy you. Just be back before the lights, the lights come on outside, and go watch a movie and go to bed.
Now let me
I don't understand, and I'm not mocking you at all. Carl's making this worse because he's laughing.
No,
But
because in reality, can y'all imagine this shit?
Wait. Listen. So Clement, let me ask you a question, because my concern is I don't know if people listen.
Okay.
Right. So did I not say to Carl, this is assuming that you've done everything to try to make it work?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me say that?
You did say that.
I heard you say
You
that.
did say that.
Figure out how people are.
No. You did say that, and that's why I said I agreed with you all the way until you said that point where it's like, well, she can just go out and get someone else, be back before the lights. So I can't get with that. So I think a lot of people can't get with that.
If a man cannot perform for whatever reason, do you think? I just want a yes or no from you guys. Do you guys think that he's going to risk losing his relationship and being single for the rest of his life because he can't perform for any woman? He's going to let the woman he has go because she's out there getting something from somewhere else.
If she out there getting something, she
then
already.
There's no point in you guys. Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
agree.
saying if
Listen, another woman already agreed. I agree with Bonnie too. You have to fix problems with intimacy.
Well, let me get the answer. Dave, give the answer. Yes or no?
And if she already messing up with somebody else, she already gone.
No, I'm not asking you is she gone. I'm asking, do you think he will be like, look, I don't want this relationship anymore if he cannot perform sexually for no one, not his woman, not any woman?
No, he's gonna want to keep his woman.
Thank you.
Come on, Simon, what you say? Yes or no?
The thing is listen, if you've been in a relationship that long, the woman won't do that, period.
No.
Yes or God?
Yes or no, bro? Yes or no,
I gotta
bro?
get to my next video. Come on now.
No.
Yes or no?
No? The man would not want to stay in that relationship.
Hold on, what did Simon say? No, he's not going to want her to leave?
Yeah, he said no. B-Hop, yes or no?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say yes or no. It depends on the man and how mature he is about his situation. See, some brothers are very territorial, so they would rather lose the relationship than go through all of that other stuff.
No, B-Hop. What you think?
Exactly. It depends on the man, because some men will stay with the woman because they don't want to deal with the new shit of a new other woman judging them. So they'll stay with the girl because she's dealt with it. She already knows my dick might curve to the left, and she's already used to it. She knows how to angle it. So I'm cool with it. Like,
What would you do if your junk didn't work no more? Would you tell your woman you'd rather be alone, or would you let her step out and go do what she got to do and come home?
Well, it all depends on what the dynamic of my relationship is. Well, first of all, I'll be 55 and I had heart surgery, so I'm not knocking down the fucking mountains as it is now. So the thing
would you leave your woman and be alone, or would you keep your woman?
It depends on how much drama she bring into me.
No. It's assuming
That's a yes or no, B-Hop. Come on. I gotta get to that next video.
Listen, I can't give yes an absolute yes or no.
No,
it's the same thing I was saying. Same thing I was saying.
It's a great relationship. You just can no longer perform sexually for no woman, not just your woman. You can't replace her. You can't satisfy any woman. Would you say, you know what? If you got to go out there and sleep with another man, I'd rather be alone.
Did you just say sleep with another?
But you're reducing it to just one physical act.
What are you talking about?
A lot of men don't break it down to one exact physical.
But I'm giving you this.
I'm giving you the scenario, B-Hop. You just finished heart surgery.
We're talking
Your
about
woman
you.
is.
I'm talking about the man.
Listen. B-Hop, you just finished heart surgery. You're recovered. Your woman comes to you and say, listen, I am horny as fuck all the time. Either you're going to perform or I can go out and get elsewhere and still be in a relationship with you. Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
yes
but
no?
when you get older.
Hold on. Yes or no?
Listen, you keep asking these questions, yes or no. It's not a yes or no answer. You have to understand that when you get older, you find other ways of getting things done without going through all that other stuff.
That's right, B-Hop.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
You don't agree with that.
No, wait a minute, B-Hop. She's not negotiating. She wants hard dick a lot.
Y'all listen. Y'all all need coaching.
You're young.
Knock it
You're
off.
young.
I mean,
I beg to differ. That was a negative phrase. That was a very
coaching.
negative phrase to say, sir. You don't know me like that and debase that off of this conversation.
Will.
Thank you.
Hey, Will, I am a coach.
There's some next things
I
that's
don't
going
need
on
that.
after.
What I do is this.
Relationship coaching.
I analyze the situation and know that when you break things down to absolutes, you're not taking into consideration what's in moderation.
But we
the thing of it is that as the man gets older, he has to understand that his dick is not the most important thing about him. So we have
right. That's why his dick is no longer a factor in this scenario.
So, in other words, hold on,
your woman should understand or should be understanding based on your intimacy level. You don't always have to stick your dick in a woman for her to be satisfied or pleased.
So she's supposed to go the rest of her life and not get none anymore. Because
So in other
that
words,
doesn't mean she can't have an orgasm, bro.
In other words,
you don't think how she have her orgasm.
Listen, in other words, B-Hop is going to negotiate the Jedi mind trick and find another way for her to get off and still keep her in the house. So I can't. Let's get to the next video because my time is running.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Simon, you tripping.
That's what's going on.
On to the next video.
The Jedi mind trick. Let's go. Mute the mics. Next video.
I mean, cooking and cleaning and having an amount of money. Would y'all be okay with y'all men cooking and cleaning and having everything ready in the house for y'all?
No.
So if the father's at home taking care of the kids, cooking and cleaning, he's a bum?
I just feel like why he not a man, like trying to take care of the household.
No, I'm not like that. I don't like that.
But he's treating you right. Sex is amazing. He's doing everything around the house.
He's basically a bum.
So the women that are not working, would you say they're bums? The stay-at-home moms, are they bums?
You want me to say it?
Yes.
Yeah, I need the opinion.
I just feel like they lazy.
Let's say y'all made a significant amount of money. Would y'all be okay with y'all men cooking and cleaning and having everything ready in the house for y'all?
No.
So if the father's at home taking care of the kids, cooking and cleaning, he's a bum?
I just feel like why he not a man, like trying to take care of the household.
No, me not
That's
like
how-
that. I don't like that.
But he's treating you right. Sex is amazing. He's doing everything around the house.
He's basically a bum.
So the women that are not working, are they? Would you say they're bums? Stay-at-home moms, are they bums?
Do you want me to say it?
Yes.
Yeah, I need the opinion.
I just feel like they lazy.
All right,
reminds me of
Carl with the
That video bans
Come
my
on,
business, man.
come on,
Look,
guys.
that
Ladies
video
first.
bans my
Videos,
business.
bruh.
First of all, and this, like, again, this is just my opinion. If a man is taking care, say I'm out working, he's at home taking care of the kids. I'm not going to disrespect him because he's doing a job that he's basically said, I got, and you go take care of the money, I'll take care of this. Well, he could be somebody that basically lost his job for a little bit and, you know, can't get on his feet for right now. He taking care of shit at home and then goes to get his job and then goes to do stuff, and then the roles will switch. But I'm not going to disrespect the man for sitting there at least trying to pull some type of weight to balance out the household. I'm not going to call him no bum. I'm not going to do that. That's just wrong to me. And then to say stay-at-home moms are lazy, that's not, no, unacceptable to me. That's just my opinion. That whole shit was unacceptable. That's a new age mentality. I just
Yeah,
don't
they
agree.
blurring the lines
Come
with
on.
traditional
No, I think
new
you're wrong,
age
Madam. Hold on.
ideology.
Come on, Simon.
I don't know. I think it could be kind of problematic. I don't necessarily agree with everything in terms of, you know, sometimes we have this new age sort of thought process, especially with women, where they will take a man in and hope for some sort of change, like hope that something's going to happen and hope that they're going to get up and get a job or do something that they discussed or they had a conversation about based on some sort of emotional experience. And that's the premise, because we don't necessarily go, we don't really go into these things just like that. Like men, if I'm having a conversation with a man and I'm going into a deal with him and he says, yo, borrow me $20. It's not an emotional exchange, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna borrow you this $20 and you're gonna give me that $20 back. Now, if you don't give me that $20 back, there's gonna be a problem. Now, when women go into a situation with men, it becomes an emotional exchange. So it's like, oh, you're gonna get better. You know, we're going to work it out. These things are going to happen. We're going to, you know, do these things together. And the fact of the matter is, you know, when that doesn't manifest, it's an issue. And the real problem is when children are in the household, to be fair.
And they're watching and mimicking as they get older.
And this is the problem. This is the thing that you know, translates
right, the domino effect.
It translates it big time. So I would say I understand where she's coming from but you got to understand the difference between you know, your private life and charity. Like, this ain't charity. Like, you can't, especially with your children, you can't play that charity dice. Like, if you want to do charity, go out there and volunteer or do some shit. Like, you could get that attraction, you could get that emotional attention in some other way. Like, don't put that. We need to get away from that. But that's just my viewpoint.
Come on, Will.
You gotta let me weigh in on this, by the way.
So
I know. Come on, Will.
Listen, I got my stance on what a man is. First and foremost, a man got to be able to provide. Point blank. Period. I don't know. I mean, obviously, is there exceptions to every rule? There's an exception to every rule, right? And the only reason why there is an exception to this rule because we got masculine as hell women who think they are now providers. So somebody has to provide in this household. If she decides to work and he be a stay-at-home dad, to each their own. I'm not in people's relationships critiquing it. However, I will caution a woman to enter that dynamic because that's not a dynamic that most men will be their optimal selves in. Being a caregiver of children, that's not our strength. Now, of adolescents, yes. Kids 7, 8, 9, and above, yes. 1 through 5, 1 through 6, no. That's not our strong suit.
And I would caution any man to want to be the stay-at-home dad and have his woman, his wife, in the trenches providing, because that's just not the proper makeup, in my opinion. I don't want to spend too much time on this because the reason why I'm gonna let y'all talk and I want to listen. I hate when I see women who are so easy to contradict themselves. She was able to call the dude a bum immediately.
I was gonna get into that. That's why I'm going around.
I'm gonna talk about the women. Yet they want so much equality. They want to be looked at the same. They want to be treated the same. They only want to be treated the same in two regards: how they make their money and their sexual liberation. Those are the only two ways they want to be equal to men. Outside of that, they want favoritism. That's all I'm gonna say on it. I'm gonna listen to you guys talk.
Come on, B-Hop.
I mean, that I like that assessment, Will. The thing of it is this: understand one thing. If you want to call yourself any kind of an adult male, you have to have some subscription to what it is that you align yourself to. Being a stay-at-home dad is a new principle. It's a new thing. It's not something that's widely known or spread. And if you do it, you got to have a real reason and understanding what your challenges are and why you're agreeing to do it. Because it's not a traditional role. So many things in life have gotten away from tradition that we tend to think, because it's not based on tradition, that it's acceptable. Yeah. Well, in the larger grander scheme, it's not acceptable as much as it is tolerated. And that's the difference. We can tolerate differences, doesn't mean we have to accept them. And the reality of it is a man that doesn't get out here and do what's necessary to provide for himself, a lot of times he's called a boy. Because a man is an understanding that you pay your own way. You can pay for your own existence.
Provide and protect. And just to piggyback on what everybody is saying, it is very evident from that video that yes, it was easy for the women in that video, who of course is younger generation, to say easily, "Oh yeah, he's a bum."
Easy.
But I like how, like I said, the Jedi mind trick. He reversed it back and says, "Okay, well, what about if you guys are doing the same thing? Are y'all bums?" And now it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that to come hit me in the face, but come on. You can't call a man a bum for doing what you're known to do, or like you said, B-Hop, tradition. But now when you're in the driver's seat, you calling the man in the passenger a bum. But when he's driving, you're the bum, but you don't want to admit to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
they have
we just have two different roles, man.
Views, but they have new school ways.
Yeah. What you said, Clem?
It's just we have two different roles, man. And I think we are in this society where we're trying so hard to blend the roles. The stay-at-home dad, listen, unless you're somehow trying to make revenue from home, there's no reason why you're not out there working. You're a man. A man provides. Women are dominantly nesters. They're going to come in and nest in your life. Women come, nest, and try to. That's why they're the help me. They're your rib.
And I
to
agree.
Elevate your life. You as a man are not supposed to go there and say, "I want a chick that's a boss babe that's gonna take care of me, and I'm gonna clean her house and make sure I give her good dick and cook some good meals." And the hell, what are you doing?
But see, I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. I agree with y'all as far as the man is the protector and provider. I strongly believe that the women are supposed to maintain the structure while the men are the foundation. However, I'm gonna use my favorite, like the Cardi B Offset. Cardi B makes more money than Offset, but he still wears the pants and controls, as the husband, the household and the responsibilities. But it doesn't make a man a bum, because in certain circumstances, if the woman is in a position, let's say she's a judge, let's say she's military, you understand? Yes, he has to play the stay-at-home mom, because it's only two parents in the household. Somebody got to watch the kids. Somebody got to make sure the bills are paid, the house is together, while the other one is bringing in that bread. And then she's in the military. If she's in the military, or if she's in a position that makes that kind of money, hey, you understand? And I don't want to sway off, but in other ethnic groups, it's just like that in a lot of cases. If you ever watch our Oriental group, they all in a Chinese restaurant working.
But here's the thing: we're not saying that a woman can't have a job and or make more money than the man.
No, I'm not saying that either.
I know,
but it doesn't make him a bum because he's a stay-at-home dad.
I know, but you mentioned Cardi and Offset, right?
Someone actually said something about that. Does he control Cardi though? She's wild.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Regardless, it doesn't matter about how much money Cardi B makes, right? We talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Let's say Beyonce is a billionaire and Jay-Z only makes 400 million. Let's just say that was the scenario, right? Who cares? A man, Offset could afford to take care of home. Jay could afford to take care of home. Just because your significant other makes more money than you, it's that battle. I think we're past that battle now. That hopefully in our society, I think we're past that battle that the man has to make more money than the woman. That's a female battle. They're still battling that. I think
hypergamy is a thing, man.
If I make enough money to handle my household, whether she works or not, I could care less that she makes more money than me, because I can hold it down. The problem becomes is if she makes $1 million a year. Well, I'm like, if she makes $100,000 a year and you make $50,000 a year, and you guys go buy a house accustomed to $150,000 a year salary, that's when you're in trouble as a man, because you can't hold it down alone. But if you made $100,000 a year and she made $200,000 a year, and you guys built your house around a $100,000 a year salary, you could hold the fort down. So whether she worked or not is irrelevant. Then cool, go to work, go make as much as you want. But
why is it always about money?
That's what I was getting ready to say. The money should be irrelevant because
it is always about money.
All right, so I'm talking.
Hold on. I mean, that's what even the Blooming Ebony says, right? A lot of gender roles switch because of money. It's often a decision that destroys relationships in the long term.
Correct.
Because you have to respect. You have to respect whether we like it or not. You have to respect what women want to be in a relationship with you. Women want men to make it's the same amount of them, if not more. That's what they want. So
I ain't respecting that.
I want you to have, listen, I want you to be born with a vagina to be in a relationship with me. You can't go build a vagina. You have to have one at birth. That is a requirement for me, right?
You're a young guy, though.
How young do you think I am?
What are you looking to produce?
Well, what do you think my age? What's your age? What's your age?
No.
Listen, you get to a point in life where you're just like, look.
Hold on, Simon. What's your age, bro?
You're like Bishop, right? So it's like when you're like
Simon,
Bishop,
what's your age?
It's a different game. Do you understand?
Simon, what's your age? How old are you?
I'm about your age. I'm just asking you the same question.
But you call me young, so you don't know how old I am.
You don't have to answer. I'm not asking you to answer. I'm just saying.
No, I don't mind.
It's a different thing, okay?
But I think
look. What I'm gonna say to you is, I'm a single father.
Okay.
Right. So I have a child. Right.
Okay.
I was married for 10 years. Okay. Now, the argument you have is all good, but it sounds quite young. That's what I'm saying.
So how old do you think I am?
It doesn't matter how old you are. I'm just
Think
saying
some facts, man. Stand on your Come on, man. Come on, man.
What's young to you?
I'm in my 40s.
What does that
I'm
mean?
42. All right.
Okay, Simon, I'm 40.
Yeah, but you talk like a 32-year-old. Because
how do you please tell me
you should have been done married already. Have you been married?
Now you're making assumptions and judgments. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm saying, I have.
Simon, you don't know. Listen, when you don't know, listen, hold
Yes,
on,
I've
hold
been
on.
married,
Stop,
Simon.
Guys,
stop,
let's stay on the
stop.
topic, please, and not get
Yeah,
personal.
because
Let's stay on the topic.
We're not
that is
being
totally.
personal. We're having a conversation.
No. We're not doing that tonight, and we ain't doing that. No. We're not doing that.
I'm
This is the bottom line. This is the bottom line.
Give me a call.
Listen, the bottom
Picking and
line.
choosing. I
The
want to
bottom
talk
line
Hold on.
is, guys,
What's your Instagram?
if the man, regardless if the man makes less than the woman, the money has nothing to do with it. It's the dynamic of the behavior and what have I said? The respect of who is head of household. Now, if the stay-at-home dad, the woman is out there making $100 grand, somebody got to watch the kid. Somebody got to make sure the bills, the house is together and all of that. That doesn't make him a bum. That makes him a partner. Okay? No, don't say no, because it does. Because if she's in the military for 6 months, a year away from home, who the heck is staying at home making sure there is a home?
Carl, what you're both Simon and Carl, what y'all saying is kind of linked though. So Simon, I get what you're saying and I've lived it before. So when you get in a relationship, basically, and I've done that to where I've got in a relationship, the man basically didn't make as much, but I made a decision. I compromised, or I was working with him so that way, he can build up his stuff and everything. But after a while, if he's not holding his responsibility, or it's not ongoing communication of agreement, it does cause a barrier, or it does cause a strain on the woman and as well as the man, because the roles, even though they weren't meant to be switched, they're going to be switched mentally. So if the situation basically, Carl, what you're saying is like, if that's a specific example. If she's in the army, that's a specific example.
I was using a variable, one of the few variables where that has to be. But just like what you just said a minute ago, it would cause a strain because the woman didn't agree to be the breadwinner and all of that. So I understand that. Now, as it was just said a little while ago, it was said that the male would have to say, listen, this is the way it gotta be, man. I gotta stay at home while you go ahead and make the bread. Now, if you didn't sign up for that, then you should have let me go out there and make the bread, and you stay at home and keep the house down and the kids and all of that. One of us got to do it.
When do people hold on, Carl. Let me say this real quick. When a man is making more of the money, that's fine. There's no problem in the relationship. But when a woman is carrying the lion's share, there's a timestamp on that relationship now.
If she signed up for it, it isn't.
There is a timestamp on that relationship. The second she starts making more, and she has to carry the lion's share. Why? Because women are not meant to be carrying that. Women are there to nest, man.
No, I understand that. I'm not taking away from that. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is,
no. That's how the roles work.
I know that.
Successful relationship
because they're out of order, and
but it doesn't matter if they're out of order. It doesn't matter if they're out of order. If you as a man are moving in your role,
you're right.
Then they are naturally going to fall into their role. That's how it is. You as the man are the head. If you're not moving your role, women have to survive. They're going to have to adapt.
Right.
And if a man is moving like a woman, then she's going to start moving in her masculine.
No.
And that's
no. Why do we always have to generalize in order to make a point?
No.
But the thing of it is this: whoever's making the most money, there's no such thing as that. When a woman is carrying the lion's share, it doesn't appear to be the lion's share on her part. She's just doing what she's accustomed to doing,
which is surviving.
At a moment,
right?
Or moments even in the future.
If she could do that for her and her child, okay, but she's not doing it for a man.
If a
woman, she can do it for a man
for a limited time, and that's why I say now there is a.
No, you're generalizing. You're generalizing because if it's about,
we literally just have a lady on the panel just use her own life. We had a lady on the panel that used her own life example.
Guys, if a man is a stay-at-home dad, he's going to be extremely uncomfortable because in life, birds of a feather tend to flock together. You as a stay-at-home dad don't have enough examples or men around you that are stay-at-home dads for you to have compadres. You will be alone. This is going to be a difficult life. What?
No.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's
I
an
mean,
assumption. To be fair,
the reason why I
that's a
say
real
it is
assumption.
because my brother was in the same scenario that Carl was talking about. His girlfriend at the time that they had their first child, she went in the military. Then
Okay.
she became his wife, and then they had another child. So he was home raising both of his daughters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did he not
I'm
work?
a stay alone.
But that's a
Hold on, let him
specific
finish, let him
situation
finish.
where that's how that's gonna go though. That's a specific example to where that's how that dynamic is gonna go, period. So what I'm saying is on different scenarios, if the man, say for example, if the man's not able to find work, if the man's not it's different scenarios where it could
Correct.
change, but that right there is a specific scenario. So it's gonna go that way.
Right.
Even
But what
if
I'm
he-
saying
even
is
if he-
generalizing is not going to get a ultimate point across.
Even if she was a police officer, this is why I was using different variables. Military, police officer, think of any airline stewardess, airline captain, anything that takes a woman, even a trucker, anything that would take a woman away from the household for a longer period of time than just your simple 9 to 5.
Right.
Yes.
So
it doesn't take the money out the equation, guys. I'm talking about the mentality structure of the household.
Right. So listen, my question is this. First of all, B-Hop.
If you sign up for it and you don't think you can handle it, or you think that it's too much of a burden or too much responsibility, or you can't carry that torch for a long period of time, yes, sit down, reevaluate, and switch back to places. But it doesn't make a man a bum, even though I still strongly believe man is provider and protector. He should already be stabilized before he even enters a relationship, much less a marriage. However, if it's allowable, and that's what you sit down and agree upon, due to the fact, because remember now, it's not about neither the woman or the man, it's for the kid's sake why he has to stay at home.
Okay,
It's for the kid, not for him, not for her.
So Carl, I mean not Carl, B-Hop, did your brother not work?
No, my brother was a stay-at-home dad because his wife was in the military. They lived on the base at one point.
Okay, so how long was he a stay-at-home dad for?
Until his children, got to about kindergarten and a little further up in age.
Okay, so those one-off scenarios is hard. Like I say, when you get in a relationship, to each their own. When you're in your relationship, you do what works for you. But I would never advise a man to do that. I would never advise a man that this will be a scenario that you will feel comfortable in, because most men have egos, and it's hard to be amongst other men who hold down jobs, who make their own money, and the only way you could participate is if you have to get some money from your wife.
Man,
No. The reality is
the average woman can't look at him that way either.
The correct reality is everybody has ego, male and female.
Yeah,
and like I said, there's a large number, rather you see it or not, there's a large number of women in the workplace that are in these jobs, regardless, that takes them away from their home for a long period of time.
A lot of the time when we
until
have,
the child is 15, 16, 17, or of age and responsibility to stay home by themselves, somebody got to stay home.
A lot of the times when we have these conversations, it's totally black and white. That's just not the case. Like, life fluctuates. It's like you might have 1 month or 2 months where you're in a situation and you're like providing everything, and then next month the lady needs to provide. And I think that's the mess.
It can alternate. You're right.
It's the missed message in terms of
how we can. That's an understanding. I mean, we're all adults here. We could read in between those lines. Not shutting down your point or anything, but we can all understand that at some point in time, if anything happened, the other side is gonna pick up and take a little bit more of the burden. But in general, the man should be trying to take the lion's share.
I agree.
In general, the man should be trying to take the lion's share, relieve the burden from the woman.
And
But
see,
the woman,
It does not work. It does not work the
Speaking
other way.
from tradition.
It does
That's
not.
what
It
I'm
does not
saying.
work
We're
from a long.
speaking from tradition and conditioning. But
I'm
brothers,
speaking from gender roles naturally. Like it's not just it's not just what I've learned. It's just how women and men naturally work. It's a dynamic. That's how it works.
This is called this is called a AAA program. Adjust, adapt, and accept. Because when you're fighting a force that has changed, we're not talking about the 60s, 70s, and 80s no more. Women are captains of a plane. They're in the military. All the things that wasn't going on before. There has to be adaptation. There has to be acceptance, because now who is raising that child or children from birth till about 12, 15 years old? Who's staying at home making sure they get up and go to school, wash their ass, doing the laundry, maintaining the bills in the household?
Me.
There you go.
It's the same thing.
That doesn't make them. My point is, the man that's doing it,
Thank you.
listen, even though he's not the provider protector as our condition and tradition has shown us, it doesn't make him a bum. And that's what the video that was really homing in on. Letting women know that just because your interpretation that a man's supposed to be the protector and provider, and if he's not doing that, he's a bum, is wrong. It's misconception.
I think we shouldn't try to eradicate that standard from men.
I think it should be more specific. A man that sits there and is willingly staying home, not trying to find a job, not trying to provide, not trying to, that's the bum. That's the bum.
We're not talking
man
about the guy
that maybe in different circumstances, whatever the circumstance is, it does want to find a job, but he's taking care of the household for right now. That's not a bum. A bum is somebody that's not trying to change their life. They're complacent. They're content with basically sitting at the bottom. That's a bum, period. It's not to get confused.
The guy that resembles the character in the movie Baby Boy is what she just said. We're not talking about the guy with the video game intentionally trying to stay home and let the woman take care of him in the household.
Carl, how is he a bum? Listen, if like B-Hop just mentioned, his brother's wife went into the military and he was a stay-at-home dad. So what if he's playing video games? He doesn't have to look for a job to be considered a bum. If they agree that he's going to be a stay-at-home dad, he doesn't have to look for work. That's not.
But he's helping the household. I said somebody that's not helping the household, somebody that's not doing the job, somebody that's sitting around and mooching off. That's the bum.
He's not
his brother was helping the household and taking care of basically what his wife could not.
He's not a bum either, because that woman clearly has allowed it. She is okay.
That has nothing to do with her. We're identifying him. It's not the fact of her. We're identifying him.
If somebody gives you the freedom to not have to do anything, no one can call you a bum because you don't do anything.
I can give you the freedom to come work at a job. You're going to basically sit there and be the employee, but that doesn't make you the employee.
The job is not freedom. The job is not freedom. If somebody
she just made a very valid point that I can't really. You're talking about the guy is staying home doing all the things that she could be doing if he was out there making $100,000 a year.
Here's the problem. Me and Clement both said what we think a man should do. You guys push back on it. Then you guys advocate because hold on, Carl. You guys advocate for a woman to do all these things and a man to stay home, and he's not a bum as long as he's cooking, cleaning, doing the domestic stuff. First of all,
as long as he's participating in keeping the structure of the household.
But if
I didn't say just lay around do nothing.
But if listen, just because someone is cooking, cleaning, participating around the house,
that's a job.
That's not a job.
Yes, it is.
Hold on.
But you just sat there and identified. It's the same thing his brother did while his wife was going in the army. That's a job. He took care of the household. That's not a bum. A bum doesn't want to do anything.
Let's tackle this in the chat real quick. If a man doesn't have a job, he shouldn't be home. He should be out the door at 8 a.m. every day looking for work or pretending, but he shouldn't be home being domestic.
That's
why?
That is
If
stupid.
there is 2 children or 1, 2, 3,
That was a
5
very
kids in a
negative word to
household,
say to that person's opinion.
No,
Stupid
it's
is
not.
not.
It's
It's not.
No.
It's not.
This is why it's stupid. He said the part I'm saying is stupid. It says looking for work or pretending. So you're going to be deceptive.
That's not. It's not the fact that it's stupid. It's just not a.
No, that's
it's,
stupid.
No, I don't like that
it's
word.
Stupid. It's stupid to go outside and leave your house and generate expense for your family, driving around in your car, potentially risking an accident, tickets, all kind of stuff, just acting like you out here being productive. That's manipulation.
So it's non-productive. It's not that it's stupid. Whoever made that comment, it's non-productive.
She added to it. She added to it. Even if the man has the means to stay home, he should still find something to do, hobby or picking up trash. Being in the home doing domesticated stuff is a turnoff.
We agree. That's what me and Clement said. We don't think the man should be home, period.
This is the counteract. This is the counteract that comment. You obviously don't run a household by yourself. Because
she's actually a stay-at-home mom. She just
because let me give this out.
Well, Carl, who you talking to? Me or the comment?
He's talking to the chat. Yeah.
I'm talking about the comment. Let me clarify this.
He's coming for
As
you,
a male, if you have your own house, apartment, your own car, or whatever your dynamic is, and I hope you're cleaning your house, your tub, your sink, you're doing your dishes, you're doing grocery shopping. All of this is work to maintain a household, maintain structure, stability. So for you to sit there and say that it's not work, that's telling me that either you live with your mom or you don't know what responsibility is.
Well, first of all,
that's stay-at-home mom.
In and of itself,
she's married and a stay-at-home mom.
It's without understanding the true aspect. Mary Maids or any company that have maid service will tell you that that's a job. Cleaning your house, or cleaning or taking care of a household is a job in and of itself.
Yeah. I'm advocating on the fact that women have been married 20 years as a homemaker or a housewife. And now the husband died or he divorced her and left her for another woman. Now she's standing by herself with maybe 1 kid, 3 kids, 5 kids. Now she got to fend for herself, survival. Guess what, guys? What's she going to put on a resume?
Carl,
she
stop.
hasn't worked a job in 20 years. What's she going to put there?
Carl, stop.
Housewife?
Listen, Carl, why do y'all do this? Y'all act like women, y'all don't like to hold women accountable for anything.
It's not about accountability. What I'm saying is this. The men of today are so stubborn and stuck in their ways of tradition. It's one or the other. You can't have it both.
No,
either you're gonna be.
I disagree.
If you're gonna be, listen, guys. If you're gonna be stuck in the traditional way of what we was taught, conditioned, and told growing up, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, that's fine. Now you got to find a mate that's willing to roll with that. But if you are dealing with the modern women and you are having a child or children with her in a relationship, living together, married, and she's out there making $100 grand a year, she got a job working as a truck driver or a stewardess or in the military or a police officer or anything that takes her away from the home, from raising them kids from birth to 15. Dude, you got a choice.
But Carl,
somebody got to be home.
But why are you looking at it that way? Why are you looking at it saying the modern woman?
Because what other option is there?
Hold on. Let me cook. So the modern woman clearly has changed, right? The woman has changed from traditional to modern in your example, right?
No, there was only 2 types of women, traditional or modern.
But we know there's more modern women out here now. Than right? There was never a thing of a modern woman until the last 50 years, right? They didn't exist. So now that we have this birth of this modern woman, you guys are trying to force men to be domesticated. You're trying to force,
what I'm saying is,
listen,
what I'm saying is that if you get a modern woman, the concessions have to be made.
But Carl, check this out. What you're saying is you're gonna be working, she's working, you're both are working, having sex. She gets pregnant. She delivers the baby. Maybe she goes on her maternity leave for 6 weeks, and she's basically telling you it's time to put your 2 weeks notice in because you're staying home and taking care of this kid. Because
somebody got to do it.
No, but you're not saying it's a conversation. You're saying
it is a conversation.
But hold on, Carl. The way you're saying is like men are stuck in their ways, thinking it's their job to be the provider. Check this out, Carl. No matter what, these modern women are still saying it's the man's job to be the provider. You are making it seem like these modern women are saying, hey guys, we want to work. We are okay with you staying home. That's just not true.
This is what I'm saying. Adults, male, female, need to stop being so goddamn selfish and look at what is the long-term greater good for the children. Somebody has to stay home and raise them from birth.
If you push that narrative, our planet is gonna go extinct because men gonna stop reproducing with women. Because there ain't no way in hell men are gonna want to be stay-at-home dads.
That's dramatic. I think that's dramatic.
The reason why they don't want to be stay-at-home dads is
I think that's dramatic, and that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree, but that's just my opinion. That's dramatic because it's not saying that every woman's asking every man to stay home. There's certain situations where the man might have to stay home. He can't. There's some men out here that have backgrounds. There's some men out here that can't work. There's some men out here that are not physically capable.
So are we going to talk about?
I'm just gonna listen.
No. Listen,
are we only looking
understand
for the exceptions to the rules? Is that what this is about?
No, we're not making an exception. What I'm trying to get you to understand.
Didn't you say there's an exception? There. You said yourself there are exceptions to rules. Period. There's always an exception. So those exceptions don't have a certain limitation. Those exceptions don't have a certain depth sometimes too.
I'm asking, are we focusing on the exceptions? Because clearly we talked about B-Hop's brother situation, and I said, cool, to each their own. I don't have any problem with however people do inside their closed doors. What I'm saying is we're focusing on men who are supposed to accept this notion that men should be stay-at-home dads when most men will reject that notion.
No, what I'm saying, based on the video, we shouldn't snub our noses at dudes and call them bums because they have to. Hold on. They have to by choice.
No,
be stay-at-home dad. Listen, I'm going to say this. Listen. They have to do this for the greater good for their children because one of the parents have to stay home to raise and keep the structure. Now, guess what? Guess what? This is why I said the selfishness. Men and their egos. Okay, a lot of men, believe it or not, even today, don't want to see their woman, their wife, do better than them. That's why hold on. That's why the notion is so strong about I ain't staying at home and be a dad so she can go out there and make 150 grand a year and be gone for
I want to see the examples that you're talking about because I've never met a man that sabotaged his own home because the woman.
You haven't met every man though because they're out there.
I've never seen it. I didn't say it didn't happen. I said I've never met a man that sabotages.
We got some good comments here. The Blooming Ebony says it's not the long-term greater good. Those marriages don't typically last where the man is staying at home. And then Japri said the more you stay at home, the more testosterone depletes as a man. And working more, the more testosterone goes up in a woman. If she's out there,
I'll say opinion duly noted.
He's out there working, whether he stayed at home or not. Her testosterone levels are rising because she's doing manly tasks.
Yeah, exactly. Hers are going up because she's out there working a lot more. His are depleting. His testosterone is depleting because he's inside.
He's being domesticated.
Yes, exactly.
See, this is why I always respected my elders.
Shout out to Intellectual Soapbox in the chat. Shout out to
especially the women that existed prior to the 70s, because one thing that them women held, no matter what happened, the children came first.
Carl, that's the way the world was.
No, but that's not what's happening today.
But that's because women have changed.
No, don't say women.
Well, who changed then?
Both sides.
Just women changed. Just women changed.
Listen. Men and women have changed the whole narrative.
How have men
to
changed?
Being more selfish.
How have men changed?
Men been changed.
You gotta have men accountable too. I think you put a lot of heat on women. This whole time, sir. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, King. Time out. Calm down. It's okay. I'm not at you. Okay, we're just talking. All right, cool. We cool. All right, but I don't think you give men accountability too.
Because you haven't listened to what I said.
Wait a minute. Dang, brother,
hold on, bro.
Hold that silver tongue. Wait a minute. So, I really feel like you honestly you go for the women quicker than the men. Period. This whole time you've been going quicker for the women than the men. When it came to the videos we were watching, you're like, well, the man, he voiced his opinion. So did she. If you watch the video where she was backing up, he got into her space, and you were basically voting for more than man.
Okay.
This situation here, you're saying women have just changed. So you're saying only women have evolved out of this whole time? Women have only sit there and shifted out of this whole time? Y'all men have changed too. And from a woman's standpoint, because I do have a JJ and I do see on the other side, men have changed too. A lot of women don't want to have to sit there and go and work 80 hours every 2 weeks and stuff like that. Some women just want to sit there and be at home, like Clement said, and nest. But the ways of the world shift things. The ways of the world change things. But men and women have changed, not just women.
Have changed then. Okay.
Because
listen.
Look at it this way. At it this way.
Like her to tell me if you say men have changed, cool. Then explain how. Don't just say.
I'm gonna tell you how men change.
It's plain as day. Men have changed. You have men out here. You have no. Hold on, Carl. Because hold on. You have men that change too. There's men out here that sit there and break down women to a whole nother degree nowadays. Just like how Carl said, there is men that will literally make sure their women are miserable, will not succeed, will not do good. And it's not even the fact of me proving to you how a man has changed. Look at the statistics. Look at how the women have changed too. All these women that are now masculine are not just masculine because they want it to be. There's a lot of what?
I'm gonna tell you one way. I'm gonna tell you one way, Will. Hold on for a minute.
Let her do it, Carl.
Hold on. I'm gonna get this out. And I would like for y'all to continue. One way.
Carl, you're gonna help her.
Well, there's one way that I've noticed since 1980 till now, men have changed, and it did a domino effect.
Oh, let her do
Men started trying to move in with women.
Wow.
Instead of having their own shit and having women come over.
Okay.
That changed the narrative.
Okay, so we'll come back to that because I'll debunk that real fast. Miss Lene, can you please explain to me how men have changed? Because I haven't heard it yet.
I believe and I've seen men have changed from the fact that now men don't. I have no problem with the man staying at home and taking care of the kids. I have no problem with that, even if it's just for a little bit or whatever. But there are men out here that thrive off of that. There's men that thrive. They sit there and treat these women like they're mothers. They treat these women like they're supposed to take care of them. They treat these. It's like what is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Their survival is based on the woman.
Carl, man, what are you doing, Carl? Let this woman explain how men have changed. She's
Let her cook, Carl.
The job of it. She don't know what she's doing. She just over here yapping and don't know where to go with it.
Now, see, I have not said nothing negative towards you, so don't disrespect me because you feel like your opinion is maybe smarter or greater than mine. We're not going to do that, though. Because I believe in what I believe in, but you're not going to be derogatory towards me, though. Understand that.
Listen,
sir.
I said, listen.
I have not been disrespectful to you. I have not been rude to you. So don't make it seem like I'm just over here for the hell of it.
If you felt I was disrespectful, I apologize. I don't want to disrespect you, okay? I apologize sincerely. I'm saying that I have not heard you support your claim that men have changed. I heard you say a lot of stuff but you didn't say anything yet. So I'm just waiting for you to give me one concrete thing that men have changed. So
just because you didn't hear doesn't mean it wasn't said. That just means you ain't hearing what I said. That's it. That's it. There's other people that hear what I said. Everything ain't for everybody. So my opinion might not ring with you, but it can ring with other people. But I said what I said though.
I ain't got no choice but to accept that. Carl.
Yes.
Did you hear something that men have changed that she said?
Oh, you are so that you know what, Carl?
Listen.
Hey, Carl. I'm not.
No.
I don't like the passive aggressiveness.
Listen.
But I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off of here. Y'all kings have a good night. I'm not doing that. I didn't come here for that.
Good night, Miss Lene. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make her feel like I was disrespectful. I simply asked the question. She did not answer it.
I get. That's why I broke in and gave.
But why would you do that though, Carl? Why wouldn't you?
Because it was necessary.
No,
first of all, it was necessary.
Disrespectful for people to address. That's like us talking about a particular group of people just for whatever reason. They're black, they're white, they're male, they're female, they're gay, whatever. Christian, Jew, whatever. We cannot just make a claim about a group of people and then not be able to support it. That's wrong.
Yes, but see, this is the thing. You're looking for a woman to support it.
I'm looking for anybody to support the claim that they make.
And that's why
she was a woman.
And that's why I came in and gave you one, because I have a list of ways to answer that question.
Carl, let's debunk yours now.
No, you can't debunk it because I have watched it in my years.
Carl, I've seen it too. I understand men live with women.
No. I didn't say live with women.
Hold on real quick, Carl. So Tamale says, of course women changed first. Men were always the ones to do shit and women always accepted their shit. But now women are taking stand to say no more. Either you respect us or you leave.
Bingo.
So that's why women have changed first.
What do you mean bingo?
Bingo, meaning
only thing that happened, Carl, this is what a lot of women don't realize. Only thing that happens is all the shit that women don't like that men allegedly did to them, right? Because we're not going to say all men did it. We know all men did not do it. But maybe, let's just say 80% of men did, for the sake of argument. Fuck it. Men did it, right? Now, the tables are turned, and now women are doing it.
That is not debatable. What I was pointing out.
It's an economic problem. It is not a man or a woman problem. It's people with money exercise whatever freedoms they want to express.
I'm looking at the large percentage. I'm not going to say small because I'll be lying. I'm looking at dudes ages 21 to 51 intentionally manipulating their way to survive off of women, moving in with them, using their food stamp. Hold on, listen. Using their food stamp, their paycheck, their card,
their food stamp
to survive.
They work for those food stamps.
No, listen to what I said. The men that are manipulating women to survive, using their car, their home.
But what's the point, Carl?
The point is this. That started during the 80s. And women in certain groups, certain amount of women are tired of that.
But Carl,
so they put a condition. They put cap. They're stopped. They're tired of it.
Carl, but listen, okay, once upon a time, women did not work, right? A man cannot move into your house and live off of you when you don't work. Women started working.
Well, no, that
created this dynamic.
Think about the Section 8 situation.
But women started working first before all that came about. Women started working. Yes, Section 8 didn't exist before women started working.
Section 8 was about a woman being taken care of who wasn't working.
Right, but I'm saying women went into the workforce before Section 8 was created. Section 8 wasn't created when women didn't work.
I give you that. I give you that. Yes.
So when World War II, when women started going into the workforce, right? women in the workforce. Now women are getting their own places. Then it was like, oh shit, we can keep these women working. Why would we? Look how much tax money we getting. Why would we let these women go back to this docile way of living? We could 2-income households. That's what we want to promote. So they promoted it. Well, guess what? Relationships naturally deteriorate over time. Every relationship don't last. Irregardless on cheating, infidelity, it don't matter. I hate when people go to those, like, those are the only reasons why marriage is in. The number one reason why marriage is in is over finances. So
it was based on survival.
No, it wasn't based on survival. These women left their significant others, usually after they bore children. Men, if they want to get in another relationship, she's working. She's a single mom, whether the kid is with her or not. I don't know. Who cares? She's now a single mom. She doesn't have a man. She has to work to take care of herself. Well, guess what? She's going to go on the open dating market. And guess what? She's going to meet men who have jobs and men who don't have jobs. If she choose a man who doesn't have a job, why are you blaming the man? She made a bad decision. This is her bad decision that she made. And we know 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So why do we just sit here and act like women aren't leaving situations for whatever the reason is, and then going into even worse situations? Because we're going to get a better man, because a better man is not going to put himself in a situation to take care of another man's children.
Now you're talking about influence. And the influence influence. The influence starts because one girl heard from another girl, you could get Section 8. All you got to do is X, Y, Z.
Talking about Section 8.
Let me finish, bruh. Let me finish. We're talking about now that woman that, like you said, made a poor choice or got with a guy that did have a job, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. But she's stuck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, whatever. Now it's a survival thing. Now influence starts stepping in. Girl, all you got to do is file a harassment charge and you can get Section 8 quicker. Domestic violence, you can get Section 8 quicker. You can get public assistance and still work at the same time. All these little things that have got us through the 80s, the 90s, and part of even 2000. Now these chicks are out here, they're not just real estate agents doing a little hustle. Now they out here doing other things. OnlyFans came from Backpage.
Wait,
you
Carl,
understand?
I want to ask you real quick. I just want to take it back real quick. So you believe both men and women have changed, you said?
Yes.
So I really want to understand, how have the men changed?
The men changed because the men refuse to respect and maintain tradition, just like the women did. The women also didn't want to respect and maintain tradition.
So
both sides want to do things selfishly their way to get ahead, and nobody is putting the children first.
But the biggest thing is when you lived as long as me and Carl have, you can't deny that there's been change on both sides. There has to be change on both sides because
what change?
The world has changed and expectations have changed.
Right. Even this change. Remember, we used to dial a phone like this. Now we have to learn how to operate this.
But you see how you pointed to an exact change? We used to have a rotary phone and now we have a digital phone. You just showed the change.
Right, but listen, this represents the modern woman. Now we have to learn. Listen to what I'm getting ready to tell you. We went from traditional woman, to now learning how to deal with the modern woman.
Okay.
And the traditional man was still the provider and the protector.
Constantly. So you got to keep up.
The provider and the protector, and now the modern man is still what?
He's still fighting between being the provider and protector and also being a simp.
Traditional aspects of men have changed to non-traditional expectations.
Exactly.
Now, hold on. Are you guys talking about men in general?
If B-Hop, can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Well, basically what it is this. To think there is no change on both is crazy because that's the only thing
I think there's a
constant
far
in
more
life.
radical change on the women's side, but I'm
not
curious on
saying
the men's side. So
tell us what the change is. Y'all not telling us what the change is.
First of all, expectations are changing. So you have a lot of men that are living up to a lower expectation, not based on traditional expectations.
Give us the example.
I don't have to go to church no more. I can go to the strip club.
If the lines have been
been able to go to
blurred,
strip clubs. They've always existed.
No, meaning
wait, hold on. Wait. Let B-Hop go.
Okay.
Well, see, the thing of it is this: for us to say that men haven't changed is really not taking into consideration that men are not living up to a certain standard that once existed many years ago.
Which is?
So, what did you say? You said protector,
provision and protection,
provider, lover.
Are men not doing that anymore?
Well, there are some men that don't live up to that expectation.
Okay, but we know some men, right? Nothing applies to everyone.
The thing of it is this:
are you referring?
I'm a realist. I'm not one of those absolutists.
Right, that's fine.
Because when you say things in an absolute situation, you're not taking into consideration that there's exceptions to the rule, and that there's other ways, there's other avenues to travel.
We're not talking about absolutes. That's like saying people say white people are racist. We know all white people aren't racist, but they will argue that majority of white people are still racist, and we can't prove it, but that's their belief. So it makes sense if they think majority of white people are racist, that they say white people are racist. That makes sense. If they think majority of black men do not take care of their children and they say black men abandon their families, that would make sense if they believe that majority of us did that. So I'm asking you guys, when you say men have changed, are you saying majority of men are not men anymore, that they're going to be provided?
When a person says men have changed, there's no additional word. Majority, minority, a few, some. There's no additional word that's placed on it. If you put an additional word on it, then your explanation has to be more specific. But if you're saying men have changed, we know that men have changed. So there's no need to really be specific in that word because we're encompassing the ones that have changed.
But that's not really cool to do, though, because if I still believe that men's responsibilities are to provide for their family, their woman included, not just their children, provide, protect, love, and lead. If I believe this, and let's say 80% of men, let's say 100% of men in the country are surveyed, and 80% of men agree with that. It would be unfair to sit there and blanket men as men have changed because 20% of the population don't subscribe to traditional values. That will be.
But that's what stereotypes are. They're exaggerated truths.
But that's what you guys are doing.
That's what society does anyway.
But that's what
society is going to do that. I don't do that. I've never done that personally.
No, you're doing it right now when you say men have changed. According to your level of change, right? Of course we change, right? Men have changed. More men are in college than men have ever been in college. More men are in prison because they built more prisons. So of course things have changed.
But doesn't that invoke change?
Yeah, but see, you guys are using change so loosely now, but we were referring to men.
Let me put this pretty well in the chat. Men's needs and desires are still the same.
It's always been the same. All they got to do is eat, fuck, and sleep.
That's because we're human. You can't change the fact that we're human first.
Men's requirement has been maintained for the longest. It hasn't really varied too much from eat, shit, fucking sleep. What I'm saying is this: when it comes to men changes, they change because of like B-Hop said, the society has also changed. Okay, they have to now deal with. Remember, I said before, on lives, and I've said this for the last year. Men today have to deal with the next woman they run up to on the club may not be a woman. Where before we didn't have to worry about that. Now we have to question that. That woman with the big butt and everything else that looks like a woman may not be a woman.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You understand? So we have more challenges because there are more changes that, like I said before, the AAA program, adjust, adapt, accept. We have to deal with the P-Valley. We have to deal with the transit. We have to deal with the growing number of women that are making, vast amount of money and career changes and all that. We also have to deal with the fakeness.
Japrice in the chat, women's needs and desires changed. Can you please?
Women have changed drastically.
Can you?
We know that.
But we can easily identify how women change. We still haven't identified how men have changed.
The men have to change.
We've identified how men have changed. You're just looking for a specific identification.
And I gave you one earlier.
Give us to tell us we changed. You can't just.
I gave you one earlier. A growing number of men, and I'm not talking about just the 20, 30-year-old, even the 50-year-old are still running around thinking that their survival. Listen, you can sit here and debate it.
Black men, or you talking about men, period?
I'm going to say specifically black men.
Okay, see, we're not talking about black men. We're talking about men.
In general, men too. Because there are men. Listen.
Asian men are running around living on women.
Will, you have to listen to understand. There is a growing number of men. If you take away the woman's finance, if you take away her car, if you take, listen,
I'm listening. I'm agreeing with you.
If you take away that woman, that woman's food stamp, her house, her car, her apartment, her income, that man is going to be sitting there with no life insurance and sitting there talking about how I'm going to live, how I'm going to survive.
I agree with you. But the problem I have is you guys are talking about a small sector.
No, it's not small no more.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're talking about a small sector of men. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that sector is growing in size. That sector still pales in comparison to men as a whole across this country. I don't think the majority, let's say we got what? We got 350 million people in the country. Let's just split it down the middle and say we got 175,000 men, 175,000 women. Are we really saying 175 million, sorry. Are we really saying more than half? Which is, what is half of?
We don't, but we don't have to be in that minute aspect of determining half, more, or a few.
But when
if you have one, you've already committed, or if you already understood that there's change happening.
There's a
it
domino
doesn't have to be a majority in order to create or finalize the argument.
I will never argue. I will never argue a point if we're going to be anal like that, right? I accept what you guys are saying. Men do change. Carl's point, or whoever made the point about the transsexuals aspect, that is evident enough that men have changed. Exactly. Technology has allowed for men to change their sex. We get it. Right. I'm not debating whether or not men have changed in any capacity. We're talking about how men deal with women. Men still want and expect to be the providers.
Okay, when it comes to dealing with women, men have changed. They still have the basic needs and wants. Like I said, eat, shit, fucking sleep. However, they have changed due to the fact of their surroundings, their environment, and what's before them. They have more battles, more challenges, okay, and more decisions. But what they have changed, though, is, I said it before, they are not respecting. Majority of them are dismissing tradition and converting that into some newfound I created the wheel mentality, and majority of them are being more selfish.
Well, let me make this point, and
they're not putting kids first. They're putting themselves first before the women and the kids.
Okay, let me make this point, Carl. For the simple fact,
actually, you know what? make your point. Carl, make your point. B-Hop, make your point, and then we're gonna close it out. All right. So, cool. Carl, that's good.
Yep.
So, listen, there's this thing called the legal system, and when the legal system changes, we as society, members of the society, we have to change with it. So when women get rights that they didn't used to have, men have to respect those rights. When women can move about ways when they used to couldn't move about, men have to respect those rights. So by the sheer fact of evolution of our society, men, yes, have changed. They have no choice. If they don't change, they will be in prison for violating these different rights that women have now. So I'm
glad you use that as example, because it is the men that are changing the laws to fuck with the females, but there has not been no laws advocating for the men in our legal system. There's still laws on our books that is against men, but still give the women more latitude.
Yeah, and the point I was making with all that is women are being pimped.
And it's being done by men. That's the funny part.
Women are fighting for it. So
would you believe it's men that are pushing the transgenders and the LGBT community?
That's predominantly women. Women are the ones, actually, women are the biggest supporters of that, actually.
They're the biggest supporters, but it's the men in power that's allowing it.
Okay, so
come on.
So 2-3 men say, hey, let's start this movement. And then 97% women decide to support that.
It wouldn't be a commercial. It wouldn't be on TV.
That's like the whole idea that is like, oh, there's one guy that got 20 women pregnant. Okay, let's go after this one guy.
The majority of the industry that's in charge of what is put on commercial, on television, on movies is ran by men.
The laws are written based on male guilt. The reason why things are changing in that
stop feeling guilty
is because men for so many years writing the laws excluded women. So now male guilt is causing things to somewhat balance itself out.
I think it's hit too far the other way now. But we were actually about to last words, final words to close out. So B-Hop, final words, men need way more than that from their wives. They need to be admired, supported, and needed. That's from the Blooming Ebony.
Well, I just want to say thank you for allowing me on.
Yeah, of course.
I love it. Good assessment, Will. I love the way you think, bro. And the thing of it is this: on any Instagram live, if you see me come on, I'll be more than happy to come on with you. I like the way you think, brother. The thing of it is this: when ladies are very stubborn in really understanding what can free their minds, then that's why a lot of times they get stuck on old ways. And I listen to what you say, bro. And, it's just like anything else. There are no absolutes in life. You have to understand and know that gray areas exist because there's no cut and dry in certain aspects. So, in my almost 55 years of living, understand that you have to really have a helicopter view of situations. If you always take the view of being in the weeds, you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. But yeah, what I do with my life coaching, what I do with my mentoring, is give people an understanding that you have all of the tools necessary to solve problems. You just have to be willing to dig deep into those tools and really get to your problem solving.
You can find B-Hop on Instagram under B-Hop.
Under B-Hop, yeah. If you guys put your Instagram or things in the private chat, or Carl, if you get to text it to me, I'll put everyone there.
I got you.
Let's close it our usual way. Gotta give you a high five. All right. Will, last closing comments and thoughts.
I just want to say I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and chat with you, brothers. I
Sometimes I throw uppercuts more than I should. You know, maybe I'll just start. Maybe I'll just jab a little bit more.
I didn't see any jabs. These are just haymakers, bro.
And, you know, I'll be swinging all the way back to Kankakee, you know, hurting my arm. I'm pulling my arm out of socket, trying to connect and missing. But now, I want to apologize to Miss Lene Monroe, I think it was.
Yeah, butterfly. Yeah.
Listen, I love our Black women. I want to see our Black women excel and do great things. Unfortunately, my viewpoints ruffles their feathers more than I would like it to do. But it is what it is. So I want to say I apologize to her, and I thank you, gentlemen, for the conversation. And look, I want to do it again sometime.
Definitely.
Hey.
Follow me at Picking and Choosing on social platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I don't use Facebook, though, so Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, good enough, right? I guess I'll go, and then Carl will finish it up as usual. Definitely, in the end of the day, gender roles are a thing. Men need to be providing. Women want a nest. That's my final comment to this. Men, don't ever go into a role where you're thinking, I'm going to be a house husband. That's not a thing. Go in expecting to be the provider. Go in trying to be the best type of provider. And providing is not just you having financials. It's also you being able to come up with a game plan a lot of times. It doesn't have to be a concrete game plan, but you need to have, you need to prey on that discernment, and you need to have some level of direction, because women can get behind a man with direction, but the man with no direction, they'd much rather choose their own way than go behind a man with no direction. That's what I'll say to that. And Carl.
And it was a pleasure having everybody come in. My man Will, B-Hop, Dave, my butterfly, everybody.
Lonnie in the chat.
You know, everybody in the chat. I appreciate everybody coming through. Different lenses, different perspectives. And like I say, we all are born naked, dumb, and blind. And we all are afforded 24 hours, 365, 7 days a week. It's what we do with it that makes us greater. Regardless of what we've been through and what traumas and upbringing and so forth, it's hard to be a woman, just like it's hard to be a man. And navigate yourself to try to understand each other before you interact with each other, because time is something you don't have, and it shouldn't be waste, because tomorrow's not promised. So salute Karl Shaft on Instagram. And hopefully we'll do this again. Well, we are going to do it again every Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
Every Tuesday at 8:30
There you go.
Eastern. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great, fantastic show. Catch us again next week, this same time. And we will see you next week. Good night.
All right.
Salute.
Pleasure meeting you.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth, start speaking the truth. Might get shot.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is men are I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we could paint the perfect picture without belittling each other, because under God's system,
we are equipped to handle that responsibility, but not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen Flint, Michigan,
and it's just being
cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they can find someone.
And expecting you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School robbery with needed resources.
It's the weaker vessel and the more vulnerable.
Absolutely, 100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, right.
And nobody.
They shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts, come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part. And it's the start.
Look to the sky.
put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
Poet, and the best part of me shows it. Here to speak the message of what is known, but not what it takes to expose it. Listen closer as I take you on a mental path. See divisions, the math, hoping we clash on lower levels just like in the past. Before we begin to see spared lives, keep in mind the first 3 letters of unity starts with you and I.